the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1176. Who is the fiancé? Is that so? Chen Zai nodded, seeming to understand. Then Grandpa Zhu, your kung fu is truly amazing. Well, you must practice what I taught you. You'll become a formidable figure like me in the future, Grandpa Zhu said with a faint smile. I will, Grandpa Zhu. Don't worry, I practice every day, Chen Zai nodded with some envy. But you must keep this a secret. You must not mention this to anyone, okay? Not even your mother or your friends, Grandpa Zhu reminded him again. Well, don't worry, Grandpa Zhu, I won't say anything. You don't want to reveal your identity and become a reclusive hero, Chen Zai asked, nodding solemnly. This concerns Grandpa Zhu's enemies. You don't want Grandpa Zhu to be hunted down, do you? Grandpa Zhu said with a faint smile. So that's how it is. A trace of worry and determination suddenly crossed Chen Zai's pretty face. Don't worry, Grandpa Zhu. I won't tell anyone about this, not even if you kill me. Good boy. Grandpa Zhu patted Chen Zai's shoulder, a barely perceptible smirk playing on his lips. Oh, I guessed right, I really am the prophecy Shu? Chen Yushu cheered excitedly, telescope in hand. Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun couldn't help but laugh after hearing Chen Yushu's words. In their opinion, Zhu Yufang was not a good person, and Grandpa Zhu was a bit suspicious. The fight between the two was a dog-eat-dog incident. Only Lin Yi was lost in thought. How could such a small place like Songshan City harbor so many experts? Although Wang Kongming and Li Pangu didn't call the police, but only called an ambulance, one of the kind-hearted onlookers did call the police. Normally, Song Lingshan would not ask about such ordinary fights, but now is an extraordinary period, and those missing persons also disappeared after ordinary fights, so Song Lingshan specifically instructed the police center to notify the criminal police team if there are any more fights. After receiving the alarm and hearing that a fight had occurred on the beach, Song Lingshan did not dare to delay and quickly rushed to the beach with his men. When Song Lingshan arrived at the beach, she naturally walked to the place where the most onlookers were, so the first thing she saw was Zhu Yufang, who was beaten into a bloody mess. What's going on? Who is the witness? Song Lingshan walked over quickly and asked. Li Pangu and Wang Kongming were both stunned. Who called the police? Zhu Yufang didn't want to lose face, so he naturally didn't want to call the police, especially since his fiancée was also a police officer, so he didn't want Song Lingshan to know about his beating. That would be so embarrassing. Zhu Yufang knew Song Lingshan, but Song Lingshan didn't know Zhu Yufang. And neither did Li Pangu or Wang Kongming. Zhu Yufang planned to get a good night's sleep today and ask Song Lingshan out that evening, so Song Lingshan had no idea the man in front of her was her fiancé. It's okay. Nothing's wrong here, officer, please go back, Li Pangu said to Song Lingshan. It's okay. Song Lingshan was slightly startled and pointed at Zhu Yufang lying on the ground. This guy's been beaten like this, and he says he's okay? Did you beat him up? No, this is my boss. These are minor injuries, nothing serious. We can go to the hospital ourselves later. There's no need to alert the police, Wang Kongming approached and said with a smile. This girl is quite pretty, isn't she? But she looked like a trainee police officer. So she should be easy to talk to, so Wang Kongming spoke in a friendly manner. Minor injury? How can it be called a minor injury? The assailant is suspected of endangering public safety. What's going on? The more Song Lingshan listened to Wang Kongming's cover-up, the more she felt that there seemed to be something wrong. Could it be related to the previous disappearances? Was the assailant missing this time? Wang Kongming and Li Pangu looked at each other, and their faces suddenly changed. It seemed that the policeman was not going to give up. That was a bit difficult to deal with. The thing is, my boss's fiancé is also a police officer. My boss lost a fight, and he didn't want to lose face in front of his fiancée, so he didn't want to make a big deal. Officer, for the sake of our acquaintances, can you let it go? Wang Kongming hesitated for a moment and decided to tell the truth. And we are victims, we won't pursue it. What do you think? His fiancée is also in the police station? Who is she? What's her name? Song Lingshan frowned. If it was really as Wang Kongming said, then it wouldn't hurt to give them face. After all, he was right. If the victims didn't pursue it, There was no need for her to hold on to it. My boss's fiancé is Song Lingshan, the captain of the Criminal Police Department of Songshan City Police Department, Wang Kongming said. Wait a minute, Wang Kongming and Li Pangu didn't know Song Lingshan, but how could Ziyu Fang not know her? He had been studying the information about Song Lingshan given to him by his father these days. He had seen Song Lingshan's photo several times. Now that Song Lingshan was right in front of him, how could he not recognize her? He had been squatting on the ground with his face covered, fearing that Song Lingshan would recognize him, which would be too embarrassing. Who would have thought that Wang Kongming and Li Pangu would actually reveal his secrets? Would they let him live? However, when he wanted to stop them, he couldn't. In the end, he was still a step too late, and Wang Kongming said it all. Ziyu Fang covered his face and was speechless. Huh? Song Lingshan's eyes widened, staring at Wang Kongming as if she had seen a ghost. You said his fiancée is called Song Lingshan? And she's the captain of the Criminal Police Department at Songshan Police Station. Yeah, Wang Kongming looked at Song Lingshan's shocked expression, his heart pounding, but the words weren't already out and he couldn't change them. Although he didn't know what was going on, he could only nod. I'm Song Lingshan, but I don't know him. Song Lingshan pointed at Ziyu Fang on the ground and said lightly. Huh? You are Song Lingshan? You are your sister-in-law. Wang Kongming looked at Song Lingshan in disbelief. He didn't expect it to be such a coincidence that he would actually run into Song Lingshan here. I am Song Lingshan, but not your sister-in-law. Song Lingshan frowned. What on earth are these people doing? They are actually pretending to be her fiancé? Are they kidding me? Subconsciously, Song Lingshan felt that this group of people was very suspicious, so she waved to Liu Wangli, take them all back, there's something fishy about these people. Chapter 1177 Song Lingshan's Rejection. Ziyu Feng, lying on the ground with his head in his hands, knew he couldn't pretend any longer when he heard Song Lingshan's words. He raised his head, limped to his feet, and said, Song Lingshan, I'm Yu Feng from the Yu family. He extended his hand, ready to shake Song Lingshan's. Yu family? Yu Feng? Why are you here? Song Lingshan was slightly startled. She hadn't expected to see someone from the Yu family here, and she was even more confused as to how this person could be her fiancé. Seeing that Song Lingshan showed no sign of shaking his hand, Ziyu Feng felt awkward. Lingshan, didn't Grandpa Song already tell you about our relationship? I wanted to ask you out tomorrow. I just wanted to check out the location beforehand. Wait, what about our relationship? What did Grandpa tell me? Song Lingshan interrupted, looking at him with a frown. Our relationship? My dad has already discussed it with Grandpa Song and arranged our marriage. Ziyu Feng was also taken aback by Song Lingshan's words. He hadn't expected Song Lingshan to be unaware of this. Hadn't the Song family explained it yet? How come I didn't know about this? Song Lingshan looked at Ziyu Feng coldly, feeling that Ziyu Feng's words were unreliable. Could this guy be a fake? She was engaged to a member of the Yu family, and she had no idea. What on earth was going on? Huh? Song Lingshan's question startled Ziyu Feng, but he didn't panic. He simply said, call Grandpa Song and confirm whether what I said is true. Now that they had met, Ziyu Feng didn't care if his appearance was tarnished. He had to confirm the matter first. Liu Wangli, keep an eye on these three people. I'll make a phone call. Song Lingshan's expression was uncertain. Although she couldn't tell if the man before her was from the Yu family, judging by his confident expression, it was likely true. But when had she ever been engaged to a member of the Yu family? Yes, Captain Song. Liu Wangli sent someone to identify Ziyu Feng and the other two, and he was secretly shocked. No way? A poacher has arrived? And it sounds like he's a family friend of Captain Song's? What about Lin Yi then? Song Lingshan walked back to the police car with a gloomy face and quickly called her grandfather, Song Xiangyuan. Shangchen, why did you think of calling Grandpa? Song Xiangyuan answered the phone, his tone filled with joy. Song Lingshan had become Grandpa Song's pride, and every time he answered her call, Song Xiangyuan was in a good mood. Grandpa, someone claims to be Yu Feng from the Yu family and is my fiancé. What's going on? Song Lingshan didn't have time for small talk and asked directly. Oh? Haha, Yu Feng from the Yu family, right? That young man is quite good. How is it, Shanshan? Are you satisfied? Grandpa found you according to your standards. Among the younger generation, the only one who can surpass you is Yu Feng. Song Xiangyuan smiled and said, he's a mid-stage 1 level expert. Mid-stage 1 level. Song Lingshan was slightly stunned. This Yu Feng was quite impressive. To think he had such strength. However, although Song Lingshan felt that he was quite capable, she didn't feel moved at all. Not to mention that she already had someone in her heart. Even if she didn't have a sweetheart, it was impossible for her to be interested in Zi Yufeng. At least at first impression, Song Lingshan had a very bad impression of Zi Yufeng. He was beaten like a blood gourd. And he was hiding it for fear that she would know. What kind of man is this? Dare to do it but not to take responsibility? He is far from Lin Yi. Lin Yi was injured and he was injured. He never pretended to be anything with her. This is a real man. Look at Zi Yufeng's sissy meowing, he is not a good thing. How is it? Are you satisfied? Song Xiangwen said with some pride. Being able to marry into the Yu family is a great thing. The future status of the Song family can be said to be sitting on the fishing boat. As long as Song Lingshan is involved, the Song family will definitely be one of the 9 great families, and the ranking may even be advanced. Grandpa, how can you make such a fuss about my affairs? I don't like Yu Feng, and I won't marry him. Song Lingshan made her position clear without hesitation. This was something Song Lingshan couldn't hide. She had to express her feelings quickly, otherwise things would only get worse. Shangchen, why are you saying this? Didn't you say your man had to be stronger than you? Yu Feng satisfies that requirement. He's far more powerful than you, doesn't that perfectly meet your criteria? And he's from the Yu family, a perfect match. I think this is a fantastic opportunity. Why aren't you satisfied? Song Xiangwen asked, somewhat perplexed. Grandpa, feelings can't be forced. I don't have any feelings for him. I just don't. I don't like him, Song Lingshan said firmly. Shangchen, is this marriage Grandpa has arranged for you the envy of all the noble families? Song Xiangwen said, his expression serious. Shangchen, I think this kind of person can be cultivated, but a young man as outstanding as Yu Feng is hard to find. Grandpa, I have a crush on someone, Song Lingshan said, gritting her teeth. A loved one. Song Xiangwen was slightly taken aback, his face darkening as he asked, who is it? Could it be the kid from the Chen family? Oh, Grandpa, don't ask. Song Lingshan naturally couldn't mention Lin Yi. Firstly, Lin Yi's identity couldn't be revealed right now, and secondly, Lin Yi already had a girlfriend. She couldn't tell Grandpa that she wanted to be Lin Yi's mistress, could she? No matter what, this matter was decided between me and the head of the Yu family, Yu Shuxing, Yu Feng's father. It can't be changed, unless the kid from the Chen family can force Yu Feng to withdraw voluntarily, but that's obviously impossible, Song Xiangwen said calmly. Shangchen, I hope you won't be willful, and don't forget your persistence. Okay, I won't say any more. It's up to you. This matter is settled, Grandpa. Song Lingshan looked at the hung-up phone, instantly furious. What had happened to her grandfather, who always loved her, this time? Was the family's interests so important? Was the Yu family really that good? Song Lingshan wasn't too worried. What about the Yu family? Did Lin Yi kill one and injure the other? Song Lingshan believed that if Lin Yi really cared about her, he would definitely not let her marry into the Yu family, but Song Lingshan was not sure yet. However, it seemed that things were going well between her and Lin Yi. At least, they had gone from being enemies to being good friends, even better than good friends. It could be said that they were very close to being lovers. Chapter 1178 Another breakthrough? Song Lingshan felt that if she just worked harder, she could win Lin Yi's favor, and then she wouldn't have to marry into the Yu family. As for the Yu family, it seemed she would just have to deal with them for a while. Song Lingshan might seem big-breasted and clueless, but she wasn't. She wouldn't expose Lin Yi until he truly accepted her, lest he ignore her and things become irreversible. After exiting a police car, Song Lingshan walked towards Zi Yufeng with a sullen face. Lingshan, have you asked Grandpa Song? Zi Yufeng asked confidently. I did, but I didn't say I was your fiancé. I just wanted to get to know him first and see if it was a good match, Song Lingshan said calmly. It wasn't that she was deliberately trying to trick Zi Yufeng, but rather that was how engagements between members of aristocratic families generally worked. They'd first meet privately to see if they were compatible. As long as there weren't any major conflicts, they could get engaged. Of course, if the conflict was truly irreconcilable and mediation failed, the engagement could be cancelled, but that would be embarrassing for both families. So the so-called private contact to see if they were compatible was actually just a period of adjustment. Everyone knew the situation was basically settled. Haha, that's natural, but it's all the same, Zhu Yufeng said with a faint smile. He found Song Lingshan even more beautiful in person, even more attractive. She had big breasts, a great figure, a stunning face, and even that uniform allure. Zhu Yufeng secretly felt like he had made a killing. A wife like that would be a real treat to have at home. But my first impression of you was very bad, Song Lingshan said calmly, glancing at Zhu Yufeng. Then, she said to Liu Wangli, back off. Since Zhu Yufeng was a member of the Yu family, Song Lingshan naturally wouldn't intervene in the matter. If he didn't want to report it to the police, then so be it. She'd already done what she had to do. Furthermore, Song Lingshan was smart enough to directly point out her negative impression of Zhu Yufeng, giving her some wiggle room. This way, Zhu Yufeng wouldn't get too close, prolonging the adjustment period. And Song Lingshan was confident that Lin Yi would fall in love with her, allowing her to reject Zhu Yufeng. I believe that a master like Lin Yi, when placed in front of Grandpa, would not be half as bad as Zhu Yufeng. Although Lin Yi does not have Zhu Yufeng's family background, Lin Yi has something that Zhu Yufeng does not have. Lin Yi can improve the strength of others, can Zhu Yufeng? I believe Grandpa will know who is the most important person to the family. If Lin Yi can also improve his younger brother to the peak strength of the late yellow rank, then the Song family will be invincible. After saying this, Song Lingshan turned and left, leaving Zhu Yufeng behind. Zhu Yufeng looked at Song Lingshan's perfect figure and couldn't help licking his lips. He couldn't help it. Too tempting, Song Lingshan, I will definitely get you. But now it seems that Song Lingshan's face is very bad. Zhu Yufeng can be sure that Song Lingshan has a very bad impression of him, but there is nothing he can do. Who made him so unlucky when they first met? Lin Yi, I have an irreconcilable relationship with you. It's all your fault. A lost face in front of my fiancée. Zhu Yufeng roared to the heavens, regarding Lin Yi as his mortal enemy. However, amidst this mixture of hatred and anger, Zhu Yufeng unexpectedly discovered that he had broken through. The bottleneck he had been holding for so long was now broken. He had truly transformed from the peak strength of the early Xuanyuan to a mid-level Xuanyuan expert. Wow, God is really helping me, Zhu Yufeng burst into laughter. I never thought I actually broke through. I'm a mid-level Xuanyuan expert. Li Pangu and Wang Kongming also sensed the difference in Zhu Yufeng and hurriedly said, congratulations, Master Z. Master Z, your strength has reached a new level. Now killing Lin Yi will be a piece of cake, right? That's right. Lin Yi is an early Xuanyuan expert, and I'm now 2 levels higher than him. Killing him is a piece of cake, Zhu Yufeng said with a hearty laugh. Alright, let's go, Zhu Yufeng said with a casual wave of his hand. Master Z, aren't you waiting for the ambulance? Li Pangu asked weakly. What ambulance is waiting for? I broke through this moment, and all the injuries on my body have healed. Didn't you notice it? Zhu Yufeng pointed at himself and said, let's go back and study it. I'll ask Song Lingshan to come out to play tomorrow. Zhu Yufeng was lucky in disguise and was beaten up by old man Zhu, and broke through under depression. This was something Lin Yi didn't expect. Sometimes martial arts is so wonderful, and there's no breakthrough for a long time. But during this time, Zhu Yufeng turned into a one-sided sandbag and was beaten several times. Under this depressing mood, it suddenly exploded and ended up breaking out. This cannot be said to be a coincidence. Zhu Yufeng got into the car and proudly called his own son Yu Mercury. Dad, I am Yufeng. Zhu Yufeng's tone was quite proud. I saw Lingshan today. She is indeed a great beauty. I like it very much. Especially her breasts and butt. Wow, Yu Mercury frowned. What's wrong with his son today? Speak so frivolously? Although Yu Shuxing knew that Yufeng was like this at school, he pretended to be very obedient in front of his father. Could it be that he had drunk too much today? Yufeng, what's wrong with you? What nonsense are you talking about? Yu Shuxing scolded him sternly. Dad, haha, I'm just too happy. I was a little outspoken, Zhu Yufeng laughed. Too happy? So happy just to see Song Lingshan? Yufeng, you're not a child anymore, why are you still like this? Women are beautiful, but you're a martial artist, you should have a calm demeanor. Besides, Song Lingshan will be yours sooner or later, why are you so happy? Yu Shuxing scolded. Dad, I'm not happy because of this. Although it's a little bit because of that, the biggest reason is that I've broken through. Dad, I'm now a master with the peak strength of the middle stage of the Xuan realm. Ho ha, Zhu Yufang said happily. What? You have made a breakthrough? You are a mid-stage Xuan level expert? Yu Shuxing was stunned and asked quickly, you are not lying to me, are you, Dad? How could I lie to you about such a thing? It's true, ha, otherwise how could I be so happy? Zhu Yufang laughed and said, Wang Kongming and Li Pangu are right next to me, they can prove it. God bless our Yu family. This is great. You are so young, but you are already a mid-stage Xuan level expert. This is a genius-like existence in the hidden families, and they are all the focus of training, Yu Shuxing said with emotion. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1179, Arrogant Guhuli, Part 1. Dad, how could I lie about something like this? It's true, ha, otherwise how could I be so happy? Zhu Yufang laughed heartily and said, Wang Kongming and Li Pangu are right next to me, they can prove it. God bless our Yu family. This is really great. You are so young, but you are already a master of the middle stage of the Xuan level. This is a genius in a hidden family, and they are the focus of training, Yu Shuxing exclaimed. It's just average, Zhu Yufang said proudly. Well, I'll contact the hidden Yu family right away. Since you're such a young and promising expert, they should be willing to give us some benefits. If they can give you a magic pill or two, it won't be difficult for you to reach the Earth rank and enter the hidden family. By then, our Yu family will have achieved glory, Yu Shuxing said excitedly. As an Earth rank expert at such a young age, you're definitely a key backup force for Heaven rank experts. Wow, maybe your secular Yu family can also truly produce a Heaven rank expert and enter the core of the martial arts world. Father, please rest assured. I've almost figured out the key to my upgrade. I plan to test it again later. If successful, my future upgrades might be smoother. Zhu Yufang felt that his upgrade this time was not accidental, but rather had a pattern to follow. He had been suppressing himself for a while, and after beating up old man Zhu, he felt incredibly refreshed, as if a long-suppressed energy had finally exploded. This was like the suppression before the upgrade. When the suppression reaches a certain level, it will be released. So Zhu Yufang wondered, could this be the secret to his leveling up? The entire leveling up process was torture, repression, rage, explosion, more torture, more repression, a breakthrough. He felt that this was a pattern, and as long as he mastered it, he could quickly level up. Oh? Really? That's fantastic, son, you're a genius. Yu Shuxing was so excited after hearing Yufang's words that he was a little overwhelmed. His son was so talented that he had suddenly realized the pattern of leveling up. He was simply a genius. Haha, that's right, Zhu Yufang said with some pride. Okay, let's not talk about it for now. I'm going to study how to pursue Song Lingshan. If I can win her over as soon as possible, my strength will reach a new level. Well, then you have to work harder, Yu Shuxing also echoed. Knowing that his son had leveled up, he was overjoyed and naturally no longer thought his son's ideas were dirty or inappropriate. In aristocratic families, everything is based on strength. If someone is strong, then no matter what their character is like, everyone will respectfully call them a master. This is the reality. Guhuli has been acting so arrogantly again these days. She still drives her Ferrari with a Yanjing license plate and acts like a tyrant in the community. Even the property security guards can't do anything about her. The community is full of complaints, but there is nothing they can do. The Zhao family is currently in its heyday, and aristocratic families are not bound by some secular rules. As long as they don't make too much trouble, the local police will not interfere. Besides, Guhuli hasn't caused any major trouble. She just randomly blocked the road and parked, hit other people's cars, and arrogantly threw down a stack of money. Although there are a lot of complaints, nothing too extreme. Today, Guhuli even bought a lion and called it a lion dog. She walked back and forth on the road with a lion, as if showing off her power. She, Guhuli, is the most noble and powerful person in this villa area. As a result, accidents started to happen one after another in the community. Today, this family's dog was eaten, tomorrow, that family's cat was eaten, and the day after tomorrow, even other people's birds were eaten. Anyway, As long as it's a meat-eating pet, no one is spared. And the culprit of all this is Gu Huli's lion. The little lion was tied with an iron chain. Without Gu Huli's instruction and permission, how could it run out to eat this and that? Therefore, many residents in the community were unhappy. Although the people living here are rich and have no shortage of money, they still have to ask for an explanation if the pets are eaten. What's more, many cats and dogs have been raised for many years, and they have quite a lot of feelings for them. So, these people collectively went to the property management company to report the situation, and wanted the security guard of the property management company to denounce Gu Huli and ask her to hand over the lion. The security guard was also in a difficult situation at this time. The Zhao family has been in its heyday recently. Many bigwigs come directly to the Zhao family. When they register at the security booth, the security guard naturally knows about it, so they don't dare to let him denounce the Zhao family. But the residents' outcry was so intense that the property management had no choice but to send the security captain and the affected residents to negotiate with Gu Huli. At that moment, Gu Huli was sitting with her legs crossed, playing with her little lion cub at home. Of course, Gu Huli was afraid of lions, too. She wasn't a cultivator, so she couldn't be as fearless as a cultivator. She'd simply sprayed herself with a potion that kept the lions from biting her. Gu Huli, however, loved to show off her impressiveness, so she used a lion to showcase her impressiveness. Hearing the doorbell, Gu Huli confidently walked out and opened the door. Seeing the security captain and a large group of residents at the door, she knew their reason and frowned. "What are you doing here? What's going on?" Gu Huli asked, then flicked her wrist, and the lion rushed over, opening its maw at the security captain. "Roar, huh?" The security captain jumped back, instinctively wiping the sweat from his forehead. He was terrified of the lion. Suddenly his face turned a little ugly. "Ms. Gu, can you please let it step back a little? Damn. Aren't you the security captain? Are you afraid of dogs? Who are you going to protect, you loser? Do you still want the property management fee for next year?" Gu Huli was very arrogant when she spoke. "This is Ms. Gu, you are a lion, not a dog," the security captain said to Gu Huli carefully with a bitter face. "Who said it's not a dog? It's obviously a dog. It's a lion dog. Are you blind?" Gu Huli rolled her eyes. The security captain smiled bitterly. "Ms. Gu, your lion dog is currently causing a great impact in the community. Many pets have been eaten. Some people saw that it was your lion dog that ate them. You see, everyone is here to find out what's going on." Chapter 1180, Arrogant Gu Huli, Part 2. "What? Are you here to seek justice for them? So you're acting on behalf of heaven?" Gu Huli sneered and said, "It was eaten by my lion dog, so what? I'll compensate them no matter how much it costs. I'm not short of money. Tell me, how much, Ms. Gu? Look, people living in the villa area are all well off. Isn't it inappropriate for you to do this? Besides, your lion dog is also very dangerous. What if it bites a child?" the security captain asked carefully. "Bite? It hasn't bitten yet, has it? Are you worrying too much? Why don't you worry about the sky falling?" Gu Huli rolled her eyes and cursed. "Get out of here, stay away from me, don't make things difficult here. Just tell me how much you want, I'm busy." "Isn't this too overbearing? Yeah, this woman is unreasonable, she's really bullying." Those owners who came to seek justice couldn't stand it anymore and denounced Gu Huli. But Gu Huli sneered disdainfully, glaring at the owners who came to cause trouble, and said, "What? Are you not convinced? I'm domineering, I'm unreasonable, I'm a bully. The Zhao family is so domineering, what do you want?" Everyone was a little depressed and indignant after hearing Gu Huli's arrogant words. Isn't this person too unreasonable? Why is it like this? However, Gu Huli's words also reminded them, the Zhao family, Gu Huli is the wife of the head of the Zhao family. Before, not many people knew about the Zhao family. It can be said that when the Zhao family moved into this community, no one noticed. But it was different in the past few days. These people are all in the business world. Even if they are not, they have their own connections and know the Zhao family. Recently, the Zhao family has been well known in the business world. Moreover, everyone also vaguely knows the identity of the Zhao family. That is, it is one of the aristocratic families. This is a giant existence. Having heard all sorts of tales about the power of the aristocratic families, these people were a bit hesitant. But after all, it was just hearsay, not actual experience. and they couldn't let their pets die in vain, right? So, they decided to wait and see. Seeing these people still refusing to leave, Gu Huli became furious. Pointing at the lion in her hand, she shouted, "Lion dog, chase them away. I see who dares to make another noise at my door." Roar! The lion took 2 steps toward the door and roared at the people there. Those who had come to attack Gu Huli were now frightened. After all, who dared to challenge a lion? Thinking of the Xiao family's immense wealth and power, they could only sigh and leave the Xiao family villa, believing their misfortune. With the owner's gun, the security captain naturally had no reason to stay. He wanted to dissuade Gu Huli, but she was so arrogant that she wouldn't listen easily. So, the captain shook his head and followed suit. Gu Huli snorted with great satisfaction, and proudly closed the door with the lion. She feels very good every day now, like the big sister of the community. She leads a lion wherever she goes, and no one dares to mess with her. Well, this villa should be cleaned, Gu Huli said, looking at the dust in the corners of the villa. Before, when Gu Huli just moved into the villa, she wanted to find someone to clean the villa. She wanted to find a housekeeper, but when she saw Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu, she wanted to catch them to do hard labor, so she caused this series of troubles. Ever since Gu Huli got into trouble, no one in the Xiao family had the energy to find someone to clean the villa. Recently, the Xiao family has turned the situation around and has become powerful again. They are busy entertaining guests every day and have not thought about finding someone to clean the villa. And until now, Gu Huli remembered this. Ergauden has been staying at Chu Mengyao house for the past 2 days. He has been waiting for Yu Xiaok to send him money. Even if she doesn't send him money, she should at least send him the address. However, there has been no news from Yu Xiaok. After get off work these 2 days, Ergauden even went for a walk near the train station, but he still didn't see Yu Xiaok. While feeling depressed, Ergauden also realized that he had really been cheated. This little liar was really infuriating. Ergauden thought that he would teach her a lesson the next time he saw her. But now, although Ergauden was anxious, he had no way out. He didn't know Lin Yi's address, nor did he know Lin Yi's phone number. He wanted to call back to the village, but he didn't know the phone number of Widow Wang's grocery store, let alone Old Man Lin's phone number. This was completely dark for a teenager who had never left the village. In the past, if you didn't leave the village, you didn't need to remember any phone numbers. You usually had to shout to find someone. Once you called through the loudspeaker, you could never find anyone. But now, Ergauden thought, no matter how loud the loudspeaker was, it would be impossible for everyone in the city to hear it, because Songshan city was too big. So, Ergauden could only help work in Yu Ren's grocery store and do some flexible work. Fortunately, Yu Ren's family took good care of him, especially Yu Yuan was also very good to him, which made Ergauden reluctant to leave. Although they received a sum of money from Xiao Mule, the Yu Ren family did not give up their work. They were hard-working and sincere people. This money had to be used to buy a house and expand the store, which was simply a drop in the bucket. So, Yu Yuan still worked in the hamburger restaurant, Yu Ren still ran the grocery store, and Yu's mother still did housework, and Ergauden still helped in the grocery store. Today, Yu's mother was very happy. The housekeeping company found her a big job to clean a villa. If this job was done well, it would probably earn several thousand yuan, so Yu's mother was naturally very happy. So he happily gathered all the tools and went to the villa to clean according to the address of the housekeeping company. Before going to work, Yu's mother specially called Yu Ren and Yu Yuan. The father and daughter were very happy to hear about this. Yu Ren, a stingy man, bought some spare ribs from the market in the evening to reward his wife, and asked Yu Yuan to stew them for Yu's mother to nourish her body, and to improve Ergauden's diet. Recently, with Ergauden's delivery, Yu Ren's grocery store turnover has skyrocketed, from a few hundred yuan a day to 3,000 yuan a day now. The key is that no matter what people buy, Ergauden will deliver it to their door. Toilets, wash basins, sand, cement, as long as you buy them, no matter how many floors you live on, even if the elevator on a high-rise building is broken, Ergauden can deliver the things to your door quickly, and he doesn't charge any delivery fees. As a result, Yu Ren's business is naturally booming. Chapter 1181. Something happened. Yu Ren also used the money given to him by the little mule to buy a large number of plumbing and decoration parts, and his business became more and more prosperous. So, while making money, the more Yu Ren looked at Ergauden, the more he liked him. This young man was his family's lucky star. If he became his son-in-law, it would be a pretty good thing. By then, he and Ergaudin would expand the grocery store, and with Ergaudin as the door god, all the little hooligans who were looking for trouble would be nothing. No matter how many there were, they would not be enough for Ergaudin to beat. Life will be better in the future. Yuan, are the ribs ready? Give Ergaudin some first. He has been doing heavy work all day and is very tired, Yuan said. Yet, Yuan responded obediently, and went to get a piece of ribs and gave it to Ergaudin. Zhou Jiaming, here, Yuan called him Ergaudin, but Yuan naturally would not call him that. Yuan only called him by his name. Thank you. Ergaudin happily took the ribs and started to eat them. They are so delicious, eat slowly, Yuan said coquettishly, giving Ergaudin a look. After a few days of getting along, Yuan's heart also had the shadow of Ergaudin. As the saying goes, a beautiful woman loves a hero, and this is the case with Yuan at this moment. Ergaudin looked at Yuan's shy look and couldn't help but be a little stunned. Although Yuan was not a stunning beauty, in Ergaudin's eyes, she was more beautiful than a fairy. Ring, a quick phone ring rang, breaking the ambiguity between the two. Yuan hurried over and answered the phone. Hello, how are you? What? Are you Manager Zhang from the housekeeping department? My mother was bitten by a dog. She is now in the First People's Hospital. Okay, let's rush over immediately. After hanging up the phone, Yuan couldn't help but panic. Dad, it's not good. Manager Zhang from Mom's company just called and said that my mother was bitten by a dog and is being treated in the First People's Hospital. Let's rush over. What? Yuan was also stunned for a moment. She was fine this morning. How could she be bitten by a dog in the evening? Yuan did not dare to neglect it. He took Yuan and Ergaudin, stopped a taxi, and rushed to the First People's Hospital at a rapid speed. In the ward of the First People's Hospital, Yuan finally saw his wife. Mom, what's wrong with you? Yuan ran over excitedly, ran to his mother's bedside, and held his mother's hand. Yu's mother looked at Yuan weakly with some pain, and a painful smile appeared on her face. Manager Zhang, what's going on? What on earth is going on? What happened to my wife? Why was she bitten by a dog? Yuan saw Manager Zhang and asked hurriedly. Oh, Manager Zhang sighed. Your wife went to a rich man's house to clean today, but somehow, she provoked a lion dog of that family. As a result, the lion dog bit your wife, and now her leg is bitten off. If she hadn't been rescued in time, one of her legs would probably be disabled. Ah. So serious? Yuan was shocked and widened his eyes. What did the people in that family say? Their dog bit people. Don't they have any explanation? Besides, what kind of dog can bite people's legs off? They said it was a lion dog, but it was actually a big lion, Manager Zhang said helplessly. The doctor said that this was not a dog bite at all. What? Raising a lion? This is too unethical, right? Where are the other party's people? Where are they? They should explain clearly. What does this mean? Don't they want to hurt people? Yuan immediately became a little anxious when he heard it. You, right? Don't get excited first. The other party is rich and powerful, and the hostess is unreasonable. I went to negotiate with her, and I almost got bit by a lion. And I have confirmed that the person who raised a lion is indeed a lion. Manager Zhang smiled bitterly and said, the other party is totally unreasonable. He threw 50,000 yuan at me and told me to get out. Yuan was shocked, and then he remembered the incident with Master Li. Yes, he was one of the most powerless people living at the bottom of society. How could he afford to provoke such a villain? The other party lived in a villa, obviously not an ordinary person, and he raised a lion. How could he afford to provoke him? Old Yu, the company doesn't want a penny of the 50,000 yuan. It's all pledged to the hospital. The general manager of our upper group just called me and said that it was someone from the Zhao family and we can't afford to offend him. I think we should just forget about it. The company will compensate you a sum of money. Don't cause trouble, otherwise it will also implicate the company. Manager Zhang sighed and said, it's very difficult for us to be in the middle. After hearing what Manager Zhang said, Yuan naturally had no choice. Even Manager Zhang's leader had no way out and was afraid of other people's power. What else could he do? Can my wife's leg be healed? Yuan looked at his wife on the bed with some pain. The doctor said that there will be no problem with recovery, but there will be a slight limp. Manager Zhang did not hide it, but it will not affect your movements. The company will also compensate you with a sum of money, enough for you to live. As for this matter, the group means forget it and don't make a big deal out of it. Give money? Giving money can solve the problem? What's wrong with the lion? I must find that woman to ask for an explanation and kill the lion with one punch. Gudan got anxious when he heard what Manager Zhang said. What kind of world is this? How can a lion and an evil woman make these people so scared? What's the big deal? If not, just beat them to death myself. Zhou Jiaming, don't be impulsive. Yu Yuanun was startled and quickly grabbed Gudan to stop his impulse. This incident was obviously different from the previous underground boxing ring incident. The people in the underground boxing ring died, and that was it, because it was illegal. They didn't dare to speak out after their death. They could only suffer in silence. Could they call the police? But this time was different. The other party's pet had only bitten his mother. If Ergauden had beaten him to death, the matter would have become a big deal, and Ergauden would definitely have gone to jail. How could Yu Yuanun let Ergauden do such a stupid thing? So, Yu Yuanun repeatedly winked at Ergauden, telling him not to act rashly. Fortunately, although Ergauden was honest, he was not stupid. Seeing Yu Yuanun winking at him, he also stopped talking, but the anger on his face did not subside. Manager Zhang glanced at Ergauden and shook his head, thinking, where did this fool come from? Is he a relative of Yu Ren's family or his son-in-law? How could he act so foolishly? He even beat someone to death? Don't let him get bit by the lion again. Old Yu, that's all I have to say about this matter. This is all the company can do. I'm leaving now and will apply for compensation for you when I get back. Manager Zhang shook his head. There was no need for him to stay here any longer. Chapter 1182. The boss has a solution. Excuse me, Manager Zhang. Yu Ren knew that Manager Zhang was in a difficult position. The other party was someone he couldn't afford to offend. The housekeeping company had done their best, so Yu Ren didn't ask them to do anything more. Watching Manager Zhang's departing back, Yu Ren couldn't help but sigh. The family had just started to get better, with some money and a better life. It was moving in a good direction, but who could have imagined that such a bad thing would happen? Yu Ren turned around and went to ask the doctor about the situation, while Yu Yuanun looked at Ergauden with both anger and amusement and said, Zhou Jiaming, can you change your impulsive personality? The people this time are different from those in the underground boxing ring. If you beat her to death, wouldn't that be illegal? You will have to go to jail then. I didn't say I wanted to kill anyone. I just said I wanted to ask for an explanation and beat the lion to death. Ergauden chuckled and said, I'm not really stupid. After hearing what Ergauden said, Yu Yuanun couldn't help but burst out laughing and said, you can't do anything rash. Let's take a look at Mom's condition first. Yu Yuanun didn't know the extent of her mother's injury at the moment and thought it was not serious. Manager Zhang had lowered his voice before, so she didn't hear it. After a while, Yu Ren came back from outside the ward, but he was frowning and sighing. Dad, how is Mom's injury? Is there any problem? Yu Yuanun saw her father walk in and hurriedly went to greet him and asked. Oh, don't mention it. The doctor said that even if your mother's leg is cured, it will still be disabled and she will be lame in the future. Yu Ren sighed, and said helplessly and sadly, such a big thing happened, and that family took the money and didn't even come out to apologize. Mom's leg is going to be disabled. Yu Yuanun was shocked after hearing Yu Ren's words, and looked at her father in disbelief. That's what the doctor said, and it's the best case scenario. If the recovery is not good, I'm afraid it will be difficult to even stand up. She will have to use crutches to walk in the future and will have to sit in a wheelchair all the time. Yu Ren lowered his head in some pain. How could life, which had just been getting better, go wrong again? No, I must go and ask for an explanation. I can't just let it go. Ergauden clenched his fists. How can this be? If they don't give me an explanation, I will punch the lion to death and see whether my fist is harder or their reason is stronger. Even if you kill the lion, there is no solution now. Yu Yuanun glared at Ergauden. Let's discuss what to do in the future first. Okay, Ergauden nodded, then sighed. Hey. If only I could find the boss. Auntie's injury is not a big deal in the hands of the boss. Ah. Your boss is a doctor? Yu Yuanun was stunned. Although she knew that Ergauden came here to find someone, she didn't know that the person he was looking for was a doctor. Yes, my boss is a miracle doctor. This time, I came to deliver medicine to the boss, Ergauden said proudly. Lin Yi will always be the pride of Ergauden. When talking about Lin Yi, it seems as if he is talking about Ergauden himself. Ergauden feels quite a sense of accomplishment. Oh? So, Mom's leg injury can be cured? Xuanyuan was surprised and happy after hearing what Gauden said. In Xuanyuan's opinion, Gauden was not the kind of person who talked big. Although Xuanyuan did think so when they first met, Gauden's actual actions later proved that he was not just talking. He said he would beat Master Li to death, and he really went to beat Master Li to death. So this proves that Gauden is a very practical person. Well, of course there is a cure. As long as we find the boss, there will be no problem. Gauden smiled and said, "Don't worry about that." "Huh? How can we find your boss?" Xuanyuan didn't care much about the person Gauden was looking for before, but now she's a little anxious. "I don't know either. It's all because of that female liar. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have lost the note," Gauden said helplessly. "Then just keep looking. We'll find them eventually. As long as there's hope, that's all." Xuanyuan was at least full of hope. After the doctor's words, Xuanyuan had been thinking about how she was going to spend her days. Now that she had the chance to change, she was naturally even happier. "Then I'll go find that overbearing family first and ask for justice," Gauden nodded. "Let's not rush about that." Xuanyuan knew Gauden was very capable, but some things couldn't be rushed. Maybe they'd come to see her tomorrow. So, Xuanyuan said, "Let's wait. If that family never shows up again, we'll go look for them, but try not to get into a fight. We just want an explanation, alright? Give them 3 days. If they don't come and give us an explanation within 3 days, then I'll come knocking on their door." Gauden nodded. Having interacted more with Xuanyuan these past few days, Gauden's speech had become more polite, and he tried not to address himself as I or anything like that in front of her. Panic ensued within the villa complex. Lin Yi and his group had been out for 2 days, and since they usually went to school early and came back late, they naturally had no idea what was happening in the community, and they had no idea that a lion had appeared in the community. Guhuli still allowed the lion to walk around the community every day, showing off her power. The residents in the community all knew Guhuli's domineering attitude and her powerful background, so they didn't dare to provoke her. If you can't afford to provoke her, can't you just hide away? So wherever Guhuli appeared, people would avoid her, especially the lion in her hand. Of course, Guhuli no longer felt any sense of accomplishment in showing off in front of ordinary people. What she wanted most was to show off in front of Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Lin Yi. The Zhao family had suffered a setback from the Chu family before, and even after showing off, they still hadn't gotten back at her. So Guhuli had been looking for an opportunity to cause trouble for the Chu family these past 2 days, but every time she walked to the gate of Chu Mengyao's villa, she saw a locked gate and a dark villa. It seemed that no one was inside. This made Guhuli very depressed. She finally had a chance to show off and step on others, but she couldn't use it. It was like a cultivator who obtained a supreme magic weapon but couldn't open it. Only Guhuli could understand the depressed mood. Today, Guhuli still walked to the door of Chu Mengyao's villa with some hope. She looked inside and was immediately delighted. Chapter 1183 Circus Performance. Chu Mengyao had clearly returned. Their car was parked outside the villa, and the lights were on inside, with several windows open. Guhuli was overjoyed and proudly led her line into the courtyard of Chu Mengyao's villa. Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Lin Yi had just returned to the villa after dropping off Tang Yun and Feng Xiao, and they hadn't locked the door yet. The neighborhood was very secure, and there was no chance of theft during the day. So, Guhuli easily entered the courtyard. "Little lion, bark twice here," Guhuli commanded her lion. Roar. The lion had been professionally trained, so it understood most of what Guhuli said. Chen Yushu and Chu Mengyao were sitting in the living room, looking at photos of their trip on their iPads, beaming with joy. "Wow, that photo of Wrigley's grilled shrimp is so handsome," Chen Yushu exclaimed, holding up her iPad. Chu Mengyao rolled her eyes. "Xiao Shu, you've called me so many times today that my ears are about to get calluses, but he's really handsome. Sister Yao, do you think so too?" Chen Yushu said. "No," Chu Mengyao said lightly, "I'm not Tang Yun or Feng Xiao. Why should I care so much about Lin Yi?" Oh, seeing Chu Mengyao's indifference, Chen Yushu stopped talking and continued to look at the photos. But before she'd seen a few pictures, a lion's roar could be heard from the entrance to the villa. Chen Yushu hadn't paid much attention to the first few roars, but as they grew louder, she looked up in confusion and paused. "Sister Yao, do you hear that strange sound?" "What's that sound?" Chu Mengyao hadn't noticed. Her attention hadn't been focused on Xiaoshu's constant praise of Lin Yi's handsomeness. She took a closer look and realized that was indeed the case. Lin Yi wasn't a flashy, pretty boy, but rather a very masculine and elegant type, which perfectly suited her aesthetic. She didn't like men who were too flashy, but men who were too strong were also not good enough. In short, Chu Mengyao's mate selection criteria were complex, but Lin Yi happened to meet them all. So, Chu Mengyao was perplexed. Before she could react, she naturally didn't hear any unusual noises from the villa's courtyard. That sound, woo, woo, Chen Yushu imitated a lion's roar, roaring twice. Chu Mengyao was stunned. What's that sound? That's it, Sister Yao. Listen carefully. Chen Yushu pointed in the direction outside the villa and said, "Huh? There seems to be a strange sound." Chu Mengyao listened carefully to the movement in the courtyard. Sure enough, there was the sound that Chen Yushu had just learned. Don't say it, it was quite similar to Chen Yushu's voice. Wait for me, Sister Yao, I'll go out and take a look. After Chen Yushu finished speaking, she shouted to Lin Yi's room, "Brother Arrow, come and protect me. Lin Yi is taking a shower," Chu Mengyao said. Before, when Lin Yi returned to the room, he said that he would take a shower first. Chen Yushu called him at this time, so of course he couldn't come out. So, Chen Yushu led the mighty general and went out to check the situation. As soon as he went out, he saw Gu Huli standing in the yard playing with a lion. "Damn! What are you doing, you old woman?" Chen Yushu widened her eyes and looked at Gu Huli in disbelief. "Are you performing a circus here, huh? You little bastard." Gu Huli was stunned. She didn't expect that she brought a lion here to make trouble, but was mistaken by Chen Yushu for a clown performing a circus. She immediately said angrily, "Who are you scolding, old woman?" After Gu Huli said this, she looked at Chen Yushu with some pride. This was Yang Guo's trump card in Jin Yuang's novels. She didn't expect that Gu Huli used it so skillfully. After she finished speaking, she was looking forward to Chen Yushu being fooled. "You old woman is standing in front of me and scolding me," Chen Yushu said innocently. "You old woman, you are the little bastard, you are the old bastard, huh?" Gu Huli was immediately furious after hearing what Chen Yushu said. This little girl didn't respond as she expected, but instead cursed back at her. Now, if she called her a little bastard again, wouldn't that be the same as admitting that she was a bitch? Thinking of this, Gu Huli snorted coldly, "You're so sharp-tongued, I won't say any more to you. Little lion, come and teach this little girl a lesson." AWW, the lion in Gu Huli's hand suddenly roared at Chen Yushu. "Lion?" Chen Yushu blinked, but she was not afraid at all. She looked at the lion in Gu Huli's hand with some curiosity and asked, "Are you really a lion, he? So what if it is?" "What, are you scared?" Gu Huli said with some pride. In front of Chen Yushu, she didn't mind admitting that the one in her hand was a lion. "It's quite fun. Thank you, old lady, for giving me such a fun pet," Chen Yushu said happily. "It just so happens that my family needs a good guard." "This is it, little girl, are you crazy? I am here to teach you a lesson today. Do you think I am sending you a lion? Is there something wrong with your IQ?" Gu Huli shouted angrily. "Lion, come on, eat this little girl's dog for me first." Gu Huli was still hesitant to let the lion eat Chen Yushu in public. After all, she also knew Chen Yushu's identity. She was a member of the Chen family. Although the Xiao family is arrogant now, they can't do too much in public. But eating one of her pet dogs, there will be no problem. As for secretly, Gu Huli will be happy if she can bite this little girl Chen Yushu to death. Roar! The lion roared at General Weiwu and walked towards General Weiwu step by step. "Damn! Why are you so nagging, old woman? General Weiwu, subdue this lion for me. I want to find a guard," Chen Yushu ordered General Weiwu. "Woof woof!" The mighty general responded, but he faced the lion without fear. Before, the mighty general was lying there, and the lion didn't care, but at this moment, the dangerous aura emanating from the mighty general made the lion suddenly feel creepy. Animals' sixth sense is the most sensitive. They can feel what is dangerous to them and what is not dangerous to them. And the dog in front of him made the lion feel a great danger. Although it is the king of the grassland, facing such a murderous dog, the lion still retreated a little. After the lion took 2 steps, he didn't dare to go on, but looked at the mighty general vigilantly. Chapter 1184 Being chased up a tree. But General Mighty didn't care. In an instant, he pounced on the lion. Startled, the lion also jumped up, waving its front paws at General Mighty, trying to swat General Mighty to the ground. But before its paw could reach General Mighty slapped back, catching the lion squarely on the mouth and sending it careening to the ground. General Mighty seemed to understand Chen Yushu's intention, to subdue the lion, not kill it. In General Mighty's eyes, the lion was weak and could be easily killed. But since Xiao Shu wouldn't let him, he had to hold back. The lion didn't expect such a powerful opponent to deal such a devastating blow after just a few attempts. The lion felt pain, its eyes filled with fear. Seeing General Mighty lunge again, the lion quickly turned and ran to the side. Gu Huli's eyes widened. What had happened to her lion? Why didn't it eat General Mighty, but instead took off as if it had seen something terrifying? Little lion, come back here, where have you been? Hurry up and eat this dog for me. Gu Huli suddenly became anxious. She came here to use the lion to teach Chen Yushu and others a lesson, but she didn't expect that before she could teach others a lesson, the lion ran away first. However, the lion, who was originally very obedient, didn't take Gu Huli's words to heart at this moment. It just kept running forward, but how could it be as fast as the mighty general? In desperation, the lion saw a tree in the yard of the villa, so the lion gritted its teeth and whoosh jumped up the tree. Lions can climb trees? How awesome! Old lady, your lion is indeed specially trained, specially for the circus, Chen Yushu said in amazement. Gu Huli's face flushed. Chen Yushu's words were already very obvious. She was scolding her for being a clown in the circus who was specifically there to tease lions. But Gu Huli, furious as she was, couldn't quite grasp the situation. The lion was so formidable, and even dogs bigger than General Mighty had been eaten by other families. How could General Mighty chase the lion around? After climbing up the tree, the lion clung tightly to the trunk, afraid to come down and shivering. General Mighty, however, remained calm, crouching calmly below, seemingly waiting for the lion to descend. Little lion, get down, Gu Huli frantically called out to the lion in the book. But the lion seemed oblivious to her words and ignored her. Little lion, Gu Huli called again. Still no response, no intention of coming down. I'm going back to look at the photos. Your lion is my security guard. I'm not going back with you. Go back alone. In vain, Chen Yushu waved to Gu Huli and returned to the villa. General Mighty, the lion in the tree, and Gu Huli were left alone in the villa's courtyard. Seeing that Chen Yushu had gone back, Gu Huli was a little dumbfounded. She had originally brought the lion to show off, but now, instead of showing off, the lion ran up the tree and wouldn't come down, and it also didn't listen to her. She couldn't just sit on the ground and wait like the dog, right? Then Gu Huli would lose all her face. Gu Huli felt a little indignant. Is this mighty general so scary? Why is the lion so afraid of it? Little dog, can you let the lion come down? Gu Huli had no choice but to lower her voice and discuss with the mighty general, but she was afraid of being embarrassed, so her voice was very low. Woof woof, the mighty general barked at Gu Huli twice. And Gu Huli was immediately frightened. She trembled all over and subconsciously took 2 steps back. Obviously, Gu Huli underestimated the intelligence of the mighty general. She thought the mighty general was an ordinary dog. That dog, you see, we both have the surname Gu. Why are you so unfriendly to me? I just want to bring back my lion. Can you let it come down? Gu Huli said with some unwillingness. Woof woof, the mighty general barked twice, and moved a few steps closer to Gu Huli, which frightened Gu Huli so much that she waved her hands repeatedly. Forget it, since you don't agree, then forget it, I'll leave first. Gu Huli was so depressed. Although she was very reluctant to leave like this, she was obviously not a match for a dog. What if the dog got angry and bit her? She could only go home and think of another way. If it doesn't work, it would be best to contact the masters of the Pai family to come forward, so that they can capture the lion easily. However, Gu Huli had just told Xiao Ji about her idea when he scolded her. Isn't it just a lion? If you don't come back, then forget it. Although our Xiao family has a master named Pai Jian in charge, it seems that our Xiao family is very arrogant to the outside world, but in fact, you don't know what's going on? The 2 masters of the Pai family are there to supervise our Xiao family's business. If we have business enemies, they will come forward to help us deal with them, but you asked them to help you beat the dog? You can't believe you thought of that. These are masters among masters, how could they help you beat the dog? But this is not a problem of the lion, it's a problem of face. Last time, Our Xiao family was defeated by Chu Mengyao. If I don't get back this time, others will think that I'm afraid of the Chu family, Gu Huli said reluctantly. It's not a question of whether you are afraid or not. Uncle Pai was injured by Lin Yi. If the people of the Pai family wanted to take revenge, they would have caused trouble for Lin Yi long ago. How could it be your turn? Xiao Ji snorted coldly and said, the people of the Pai family haven't caused trouble for Lin Yi yet, which means they won't do it again. Let's forget about this matter for now. Don't expose our Xiao family's trump card. If people find out that we can't control the people of the Pai family, that would be bad, is that so? Gu Huli couldn't help but lower her head in grievance. Haha, brother, actually you can't say that. The reason why the Pai family didn't seek revenge on Lin Yi was actually because Pai Bo's real injury was caused by sister-in-law. That's why the Pai family didn't go to Lin Yi. After all, it's not right. Xiao Ben waved his hand and analyzed. However, I believe the Pai family will be anxious for this revenge. If there's any conflict of interest with Lin Yi, I don't think they mind taking action. In fact, if sister-in-law wants to take revenge, as long as she can reasonably create some conflict points, as well as conflicts between Lin Yi or the Chu family in our business, I believe the Pai family will be happy to take action. Oh, Xiao Ji was stunned. After thinking about his brother's words carefully, it seemed that there was some truth in them. Chapter 1185 An Unexpected Call. Xiao Ben is a very smart person. Although he also wants to deal with Lin Yi and wants to use the Pai family's hand, he will not ask the Pai family for help directly. If the Pai family helps, the Xiao family will owe them a huge favor. But if Lin Yi or the Chu family affects the Xiao family's business, then the Pai family will take action for their own interests. In this way, the Xiao family will not owe the Pai family anything, and the Pai family will be more straightforward when taking action. So in Xiao Ben's opinion, this matter can be done, but it must be considered in the long run and cannot be rushed. Seeing that his eldest brother always agrees after he makes a suggestion, Xiao Ben is very proud. Although his eldest brother is the head of the Xiao family, he is actually the one in power. In this way, it is no different from being the head of the family. Xiao Ben nodded and said, so, we need to plan this matter. It would be best if the Chu family could influence our family's interests. In this way, the Pai family will definitely take action for their own interests. That's right, then this matter will be handed over to you, second brother. The matter of revenge for your sister-in-law will also be handed over to you. Xiao Ji nodded and said. Then my lion. Gu Huli was still a little reluctant. If the lion really stayed in the Chu family and didn't come back, it would really be a disgrace to Gu Huli. She wouldn't be able to hold her head up in this community. She had just been showing off to the residents in the community, but now even the lion was left at someone else's house. Would Gu Huli still want to go out and mingle in the future? It's just a lion. If you don't want to part with it, buy another one. If you have the ability, get it back yourself. Xiao Ji waved his hand to stop Gu Huli from continuing. Let's end this matter here. I'm so busy every day. How can I have time to study your little thing? What Xiao Ji said is not wrong. The cooperation between the Xiao family and various wealthy businessmen is in full swing. There are many things to do every day. Even a hands-off boss like Xiao Ji has to be busy receiving guests. After all, Xiao Ben has to sign contracts with those businessmen who have finalized their cooperation intentions. Xiao Ji can't do such detailed things as signing contracts, but he is good at treating people to dinner and socializing with people. After hearing what Xiao Ji said, Gu Huli knew that this matter was probably hopeless, and it was impossible to ask the Pai family for help. In this case, she had to find a way out by herself. In desperation, Gu Huli could only wait until night to quietly go out to investigate the situation. The lion persisted in the tree for a while, but it really couldn't hold on anymore. After all, it was a land animal, not a bird. How could it stay in the tree peacefully? So, the lion's heart changed, and he was ready to come down to find the mighty general to make peace. Lin Yi took a shower, changed into pajamas, and was just about to go out to see how the mighty general and the lion were doing when his phone rang. Lin Yi glanced at the caller ID and saw that it was Song Lingshan. Ever since she had improved Song Lingshan's strength a few days ago, Song Lingshan hadn't called Lin Yi again, and Lin Yi was happy to be idle. Who knew what Song Lingshan would call him to ask for help? This time, Song Lingshan called Lin Yi because she really wanted Lin Yi's help. This was because Chen Yushan came to visit him just after he returned to the police station this afternoon. Compared to Zi Yufen, Song Lingshan found that Chen Yushan was more pleasing to the eye, but that was just pleasing to the eye. Compared to Lin Yi, he was still far behind. Song Lingshan remembered a line from a song, "The one who loves me is devoted to me, but I cry wildly and heartbroken for the one I love." After their last flirtation, Song Lingshan had initially thought her relationship with Lin Yi would improve, but after several days, Lin Yi still hadn't contacted her. Lin Yi's calls were limited, and always for important matters, never just for the sake of calling. "Lingshan, why do you look so gloomy? What? You don't welcome me when I come to your house." Chen Yushan walked in to see Song Lingshan, a worried look on her face, sitting at her desk, lost in thought. "As I said, call me Officer Song at work, and Song Lingshan in private," Song Lingshan said calmly, glancing at the visitor. Chen Yushan's expression changed slightly, but he continued, "Lingshan, we've been a family since childhood, haven't we? Even if you don't accept my affection, there's no need to act so distant, right? Then what should I do? Act all warmly towards you? Or misunderstand you?" Song Lingshan continued calmly. "Lingshan, I admit I still deeply love you, but I understand your feelings, and if you really marry that man, I'll be relieved and happy. I admit that I, Chen Yushan, am not as good as him. Not now, and I won't be better than him in the future. So, this thought of you is deeply buried in my heart. I just want to protect you silently. As long as you are happy, I will be satisfied. I call you Lingshan, but it's just from the perspective of an older brother, calling you sister. If you don't agree, then I will call you Officer Song from now on," Chen Yushan said to Song Lingshan seriously. Song Lingshan was stunned by Chen Yushan's words. She didn't expect Chen Yushan to say such frankly. Although Chen Yushan had expressed similar feelings and praise for Lin Yi before, Song Lingshan still didn't expect Chen Yushan to say this so seriously today. Although Chen Yushan's strength was not strong, Song Lingshan knew that he was a man of his words. If he said this, it meant he had really let it go. "Okay, I'm relieved that you think so. From now on, I'll call you Brother Yushan." Song Lingshan directly finalized the relationship between her and Chen Yushan as brother and sister. Haha, this relationship is a bit confusing, Chen Yushan scratched his head. Lin Yi was his instructor. In his heart, even if he was not a master, he was like a boss. If Song Lingshan really followed Lin Yi in the future, she would be either a master's wife or a sister-in-law. However, this can only be discussed later. What's the confusing relationship? Song Lingshan was slightly stunned, but then she thought of something. "Brother Yushan, what is your relationship with Lin Yi? You should ask him yourself." "I can't say it." Chen Yushan couldn't say anything behind Lin Yi's back. If Lin Yi was also present and didn't object, it would be fine for Chen Yushan to say it, but not now. "Okay," Song Lingshan didn't ask too much, just nodded and asked, "Brother Yushan, what's the matter with coming here today? It seems like it's still a holiday now." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1186. Still want to upgrade? Of course there is. The last tomb robbery case has concluded, and I've reported it to my superiors. They want us to disguise ourselves as a couple and enter the tomb with a gang code named Red Pagoda, Chen Yushan said. On the one hand, we'll secretly gather evidence against these tomb robbers and bust them all. On the other hand, we'll secretly record the methods they use to open the tomb. This tomb is fraught with dangers. If we can compile this information, it will reduce the difficulty and danger for our experts in future investigations. This is invaluable. Are you telling me this to get the local police to cooperate with you in arresting them? Song Lingshan asked. Yes, and on the other hand, I'd like to invite you to pretend to be a couple with me, Chen Yushan said with a dry cough. In truth, he had no intention of taking advantage of Song Lingshan. He had already let go of the matter, so he wouldn't resort to the frivolous excuse of a mission to get close to her. That would be ungentlemanly. Chen Yushan's purpose in doing this was truly due to his consideration of Song Lingshan's skills. The tombs were extremely dangerous, requiring considerable skill. Song Lingshan's skills were undeniable, which was why Chen Yushan had extended this invitation. According to the information, both the thieves, even if not at the yellow rank, possess speed and agility comparable to that of the yellow rank. Me? With you? Song Lingshan was slightly taken aback. Chen Yushin's proposal didn't seem to violate any rules or boundaries. After all, with her unique profession, pretending to be a couple with others was commonplace. However, the key issue is that Song Lingshan wasn't quite willing to pretend with Chen Yushin. Yes, the tomb is extremely dangerous, and the tomb robbers are very skilled. If our men aren't skilled enough, they'll likely perish in it, Chen Yushin said solemnly. Lingshan, I'm acting for the greater good, not for selfish reasons. I'd be delighted if you and I pretended to be a couple, though it's not real, but at least we've had it. Chen Yushin spoke frankly, without hiding anything, which actually made Song Lingshan admire him somewhat. His personality suited her perfectly. However, even so, Song Lingshan couldn't possibly be attracted to him. There were two reasons for this: Chen Yushin's skills were truly lacking, and secondly, Song Lingshan already had someone else in her heart, with no room for anyone else. Now, Song Lingshan considered Lin Yi superior to anyone else. While Lin Yi might be a bit domineering, he was also truly capable. He was not only brave and resourceful, but also possessed medical skills, and more importantly, he could upgrade others. More importantly, although this man is a bit philandering, he is not the type who is promiscuous. She had tried to seduce Lin Yi several times but failed. This shows that Lin Yi is a person whose lower body is dominated by his emotions and upper body, rather than his lower body dominating his upper body. So the more Song Lingshan thought about it, the better she felt about Lin Yi. Besides, Lin Yi is a versatile person who can help her solve cases. What benefits will we get from cooperating with you on this matter? Song Lingshan was cooperating with Chen Yushin on behalf of the local police. There must be some benefits. At least Chen Yushin can't take all the credit. As for the credit, naturally each of us will get half. This is fair. There will be no other share. The confiscated stolen goods must be handed over. I am very poor and can't afford any bonus. Chen Yushin smiled and shrugged. I'm short on money. Song Lingshan rolled her eyes. Okay, but as you said, the tomb is treacherous, and you're only an early-stage yellow rank expert. The two of us aren't strong enough. I'd like to find some outside help. Outside help? Lin Yi, Chen Yushin, incredibly clever, naturally thought of Lin Yi. Song Lingshan had two reasons for seeking out Lin Yi. One was that with Lin Yi, she wouldn't be pretending to be a couple with him, but with Lin Yi instead. The second was that with Lin Yi as a master, the mission would be less dangerous. Yes, Song Lingshan nodded, blushing slightly. Chen Yushin's sudden reveal made her feel a little embarrassed. Sure, I'd be even more happy if Lin Yi could help, Chen Yushin said after a moment's hesitation. But he was speaking from the heart. Although he and Song Lingshan couldn't pretend to be a couple anymore, there were some things you could let go of, and once you made a decision, you wouldn't regret it. But fighting alongside Lin Yi had always been Chen Yushin's dream. Now that it had come true, he was naturally delighted. With Lin Yi's help, the difficulty of this mission would be significantly reduced. Okay, then I'll talk to Lin Yi, Song Lingshan nodded. I'll go to the back room and call Lin Yi. You wait outside for me, don't worry, I won't eavesdrop, Chen Yushin said with a smile, though a little bittersweet. But Song Lingshan wouldn't say some things to her lover right in front of him. So, Song Lingshan went into the office break room and called Lin Yi. What's up? Lin Yi answered. Silly girl, I missed you. Can't I just call you? Song Lingshan was a little annoyed by Lin Yi's formulaic tone. Missed me? Why don't you miss me when you have nothing else to do? When you miss me, you're in trouble. Lin Yi gave a wry smile. Song Lingshan probably had something else to ask him about again. Oh, Song Lingshan was slightly stunned, then said happily, so, I can call you when I have nothing to do in the future? That's great. I usually want to call you, but I dare not call you, for fear that you will scold me, so I have to desperately find things and excuses to call you, huh? Lin Yi widened his eyes, not knowing how to answer. Song Lingshan's words were really hard to answer. Lin Yi couldn't just say, call me when you have nothing to do, right? That would probably mean a call every few hours. But if Lin Yi didn't let her call, wouldn't it mean he was tacitly agreeing with her to desperately find things and excuses to call him? Lin Yi laughed dryly and had to change the subject. Then what is the matter with you calling this time? About the upgrade? Upgrade? I want it. Song Lingshan narrowed her eyes slightly, and the idea of playing a prank arose in her mind again. She said in a disgusting voice, when will you give it to me? I want it so much, my good man. Lin Yi had several black lines on his head. What Song Lingshan said was probably that she wanted an upgrade and asked him to give her an upgrade. But the way she said it in that tone sounded like she just wanted that. Chapter 1187 I don't want to go together. Temptation, temptation. Even Lin Yi, with his resistance, was losing ground to Song Lingshan. This little devil, Song, if she kept going this way, something was bound to happen sooner or later. Lin Yi took a deep breath. He couldn't deny that Song Lingshan had the perfect figure, the pretty face, and the ability to pull off a uniformed seduction trick, but he was struggling. I can't level up for now. I'll level you up once I reach Earth rank, Lin Yi quickly interrupted Song Lingshan and said bluntly. Huh? Song Lingshan was taken aback. She had assumed that Lin Yi's upgrades had already reached their limit, and that he wouldn't help her with any more. After all, there were limitations to using external forces to increase strength. After all, other people's ki was different from one's own. A small amount was fine, but too much would cause problems. Of course, Song Lingshan had no idea that Lin Yi's ki was universal. Once it entered her body, it became identical to her own. This was Lin Yi's ultimate golden trick. How could ordinary people compare to the aura-bearing protagonist? Can you still improve? Song Lingshan asked, somewhat surprised. Her current peak strength of the late Wang rank was already impressive. So, what could Lin Yi raise her to? Could she reach another level, becoming a Zhuan rank expert? Yes, but you probably won't break through to the Earth rank. You'll probably only reach the peak of the late Zhuan rank. I haven't figured out the general pattern yet, but you'll probably always be a bit lower than me, Lin Yi said. Of course, don't tell anyone about this. I definitely don't want people lining up to help me improve their strength. I'm not stupid, of course I won't, Song Lingshan thought to herself. How could I possibly let anyone know this? But then she asked, can I really reach the peak of the late Zhuan rank? Song Lingshan couldn't imagine it. Peak Zhuan rank meant the pinnacle of existence among the secular world's aristocratic families. Could she possibly possess that strength? And Lin Yi said she was going to break through to the Earth rank? Song Lingshan was truly bewildered. She knew Lin Yi was powerful, but she had no idea he was this powerful. Everyone else's goal was to reach the lower levels, but Lin Yi was already at the Earth rank. Could it be that Lin Yi was already a master at the peak of the late profound realm? Thinking of this, Song Lingshan felt a surge of excitement. The man she had been so optimistic about was indeed right. Let's wait until I break through to the Earth rank. I don't know when I'll be able to do that, Lin Yi thought to himself. I'm not even at the peak of the late profound realm yet, and you're already thinking about that, aren't you too greedy? I've worked so hard to level up, and now I can just help you with something and you'll level up too. How unfair. But in reality, if anyone heard Lin Yi's thoughts, they'd probably be furious. You have a cultivation space, a cheat code, and can mass-produce masters. This is simply an invincible existence, and you still think it's hard work? Yet, Song Lingshan said quickly, then, little silly girl, I'll wait for you to break through, and then I'll wash it white. I'll be waiting for you anytime. You called to talk about this. Lin Yi was speechless again. No, actually, there's one more thing. Don't you know everything about Liu Bojia? Chen Yushin approached me and asked me to go with him to the tomb. Pretending to be a thief couple. I'd like to invite you to come along. With your skills, you can reduce the risk of this operation, Song Lingshan said. Going with you to rob the tomb? Lin Yi asked, stunned. We're not going with us to rob the tomb. We're going to catch the tomb robbers and record the opening method of the tomb's mechanism to help our archaeological work, Song Lingshan explained. Not interested, Lin Yi said lightly. I have to stay here to protect Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Recently, the Xiao family has cooperated with the Hidden Pai family. The Hidden Pai family has sent several masters to the Xiao family. I think they will come to cause trouble sooner or later. Just now, Gu Huli brought a lion to make trouble. Bringing a lion? Song Lingshan was stunned. No way? What about the lion? It was chased up the tree by my yellow-level high-level dog, and it is still staying on the tree. Lin Yi smiled. I also promoted that dog. Song Lingshan was speechless for a while. Lin Yi really has nothing to do. He actually promoted a yellow-level high-level dog. However, this also indirectly shows Lin Yi's awesomeness. He has no pressure to create masters. Aren't you interested in medicine? According to our research, this tomb is very likely the burial site of Zhang Liju, a folk medicine saint from the late Song dynasty and early Yuan dynasty. Aren't you interested? Song Lingshan began to tempt Lin Yi, pulling out the item that most interested him. There might be some ancient books in there. Of course, I can't give you the originals, but I can give your copies. Song Lingshan was a principled person and wouldn't use cultural relics to curry favor with Lin Yi. So, while she could look at them, she absolutely couldn't take them. However, even if Lin Yi wanted the originals, these ancient books would be of little use. Haha, not really interested, Lin Yi remained uninterested. The old man had thousands of ancient books, and he couldn't even read them all himself, so why would he look at someone else's? Besides, Lin Yi simply didn't have the time. A trip to the tomb would likely take him 10 days or half a month. Song Lingshan hadn't expected that even this wouldn't attract Lin Yi, and she was immediately disappointed. Think about it again. Just think of it as protecting the little silly girl. The tomb is incredibly dangerous. Aren't you afraid she'll die? Then don't go, Lin Yi said. Anything else? No, nothing. Song Lingshan was a little disappointed, but there was nothing she could do. If Lin Yi didn't want to go, she couldn't force him to go, so she could only give up. Then think about it again. It's not too urgent anyway. Maybe the Xiao family's affairs will have been resolved by then. Let's talk about it later, Lin Yi said, and hung up. After hanging up, Lin Yi walked out of the room and into the living room. He had noticed Gu Huli bringing the lion to cause trouble earlier. Although the bathroom where Lin Yi was showering had curtains, he could still see outside the villa through the gap. However, when Lin Yi saw Chen Yashu leave with a mighty general, he felt relieved. The mighty general would be more than enough to deal with a lion. When Lin Yi came out, Chen Yashu was telling Chu Mengyao about the heroic deeds of General Weiwu fighting a lion. When she saw Lin Yi, she shouted, "Brother Arrow, didn't you see it before? Gu Huli brought a lion to cause trouble, but was quickly destroyed by General Weiwu." Chapter 1188. This time I let it slip. I saw it, Lin Yi smiled. How's the lion now? I don't know. Let's go and see if it died in battle or surrendered. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Chen Yashu was eager to know the result. Chu Mengyao hadn't been interested at first, but after hearing what Chen Yashu and Lin Yi said, she became curious. She stood up and followed them out of the villa. However, as soon as she stepped out, she saw a magnificent scene. General Wu was leaning against the shade of a tree, enjoying the cool breeze. The lion, respectfully and awe-inspiringly, crouched beside him, fanning him with a torn cardboard in its front paws. Damn! General Wu has a new brother, Chen Yashu said, eyes wide with astonishment. Haha, Lin Yi said, not surprised by the result. It was just a lion. For General Wu now, dealing with it was an easy and pleasant task. Brother Arrow, you now have 2 men under your command. You can go out without worry while we're home, Chen Yashu said happily. Now we have another guard. Chu Mengyao couldn't help but smile. Seeing a lion fanning a dog was something straight out of an animation, and now it was happening right before her eyes, which was a bit unbelievable. But then again, since Lin Yi moved into the villa, so many incredible things had happened at home. This lion is a bit weak, and it may not be truly submissive. It's just afraid of the terrifying aura of the mighty general. Lin Yi glanced at the lion not far away and said calmly. Oh, Chen Yashu was slightly taken aback. Was this lion's submission fake? In other words, it wasn't very loyal? Chen Yashu was no fool. In real life, it was the same. Some people were forced to submit under pressure and in a position of power. In reality, they were just trying to endure hardships. But if they had the opportunity to turn against them or retaliate, they would never show mercy. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Chen Yashu looked into the lion's eyes and sensed a flicker of insincerity. This also made sense to Chen Yashu, who sighed and asked, "What should we do then? Can it loyally guard our yard?" As long as it's not as strong as General Mighty, it'll still guard it diligently, Lin Yi understood. Sometimes, sincerity or submission, as long as the strength is there, the outcome is the same. Okay, then, let's keep it for now, Chen Yashu nodded in satisfaction. Hey, lion, you have to protect the yard, you hear me? No strangers allowed in, or I'll have General Mighty deal with you. Understand? Awu, the lion, seemingly intelligent, barked, as if it understood Chen Yashu's words. Ziyu Fang had broken through to the middle stage of the profound realm and was in high spirits. After returning home, he pondered and decided he should call Song Lingshan to improve his image today. Otherwise, if Song Lingshan saw him getting beaten up, it would be such a shame. After Song Lingshan called Lin Yi and was rejected by him, She was in a bad mood and came out of the inner room with a rather grim look on her face. "How is it, Lingshan?" "Did Lin Yi agree?" Chen Yushan asked anxiously, as if he was even more anxious than Song Lingshan. "No," Song Lingshan shook her head and sighed. "I asked him to think about it, but he didn't reply." "Well, if Lin Yi joins this operation, the chances will be better." Chen Yushan also sighed and said, "This mission is very dangerous, and I don't want anything to go wrong." "Of course I do," Song Lingshan said. "It seems I have to keep begging him." As they were talking, Song Lingshan's phone rang again. Song Lingshan was immediately delighted, thinking it was Lin Yi calling and that he had changed his mind. However, when Song Lingshan took out her phone, it was an unfamiliar number. "Hello, I'm Song Lingshan." Song Lingshan answered the phone in a formal manner, giving her name. "Lingshan, this is Yufeng," Zi Yufeng said excitedly, thinking to himself, Song Lingshan's voice is so beautiful, like the sound of nature, even a single word is so charming. "Yufeng? What do you want to talk to me about?" Song Lingshan frowned, her face darkening. She hadn't expected Yufeng to call her so soon. This guy is really shameless. He just lost face in front of her today, and he's not embarrassed at all, and he has the nerve to call her? Haha, what's going on? "I'm going to the beach today. The scenery and environment here are beautiful. I heard you have tomorrow off, so I wanted to invite you to come and relax and have some fun," Zi Yufeng said with a smile. "Lingshan, you're under a lot of work pressure, so coming to the beach is a good way to relax and enjoy nature. Let's have a picnic, how about it?" Song Lingshan was holding back her breath. Did Zi Yufeng hear clearly? He even knew she had tomorrow off? "Are you feeling better now? Weren't you supposed to go to the hospital today? How come you're leaving so soon?" Song Lingshan said calmly. Her meaning was clear. You'd been beaten up like that, and instead of staying in the hospital to get treated, why were you running out? "Lingshan, don't get me wrong. I wasn't injured in a fight today. I got beaten on purpose." Zi Yufeng had already thought of what to say. In order to save face, he had found a perfect excuse. "Oh? You deliberately asked someone to beat you up?" Song Lingshan was stunned. Was there such a fool in the world? Looking for a fight? Was he just itching for trouble? "Yes," Zi Yufeng said seriously, "Lingshan, in fact, this is also a method of upgrading and practicing that I created by myself. I call this way of upgrading rhythm." "What is rhythm?" "It means that there is both suppression and promotion. Every time when I am about to break through and encounter a bottleneck, I will use this rhythmic way of upgrading. First, I suppress myself. This is like letting someone beat me. I don't fight back, and just endure it. Then when I can't bear it anymore, I suddenly explode, and I can break through and upgrade." "Then you broke through?" Song Lingshan asked lightly. "Yes, I broke through," Zi Yufeng said proudly. "I am now a mid-stage 1 level master." "Weren't you in a mid-stage 1 level before?" Song Lingshan frowned. Chapter 1189. I'll talk to him. "Ah, yes. I was already at the mid-level 1 level. I mean, I was at the peak of the mid-level." Zi Yufeng jumped, realizing he'd almost let it slip in front of Song Lingshan. "Really? Congratulations then." What did Song Lingshan do for a living? She knew Zi Yufeng was lying the moment he heard it. It seemed like he was just talking nonsense. He probably wasn't even at the mid-level 1 level before, but was just about to break through. He'd boasted to his grandfather that he was, and only just now had he broken through. So, he'd almost let himself be caught. "Haha, I'm quite experienced when it comes to leveling up, Lingshan. I hear you're a rare talent, too. You might be a little behind me, but you're already very powerful," Zi Yufeng said proudly. "But if you want to know the secrets of leveling up, I can help. I believe with my guidance, you can break through quickly too." "Oh," Song Lingshan replied calmly. "Breakthrough? Why wouldn't he even ask him for a breakthrough? What kind of crappy breakthrough method is that? Getting beaten up is the only way to break through?" Song Lingshan didn't want that. It would be so easy to let Lin Yi help her break through. It would be stress-free, painless. "What? Lingshan, you're not interested in leveling up?" Zi Yufeng was stunned. He'd expected Song Lingshan to be thrilled after he'd said that, but surprisingly, she remained indifferent, as if she hadn't heard. Shouldn't that be right? Zi Yufeng reasoned that most people would be thrilled to learn about the secrets of a new level upgrade. This was crucial for a martial artist. The path of cultivation was arduous, each step a journey against the current. Every breakthrough came at a price. No one could achieve something for nothing. Therefore, for a martial artist, leveling up was a huge temptation. But why didn't Song Lingshan care? This puzzled Zi Yufeng. How could he have known that Song Lingshan could easily level up with Lin Yi's help? With Lin Yi's powerful tool for leveling up, why would she need Zi Yufeng's secrets? I have to work overtime tomorrow, so I'm afraid I can't go. You should go by yourself, Song Lingshan said calmly. A case has come up, and I have to stay. This, Zi Yufeng was immediately frustrated after hearing Song Lingshan's words. Song Lingshan's words shut down all his excuses. No matter what Zi Yufeng said, it was useless. After all, Song Lingshan had a job, she couldn't just give up, could she? Anything else? Song Lingshan asked. No, Zi Yufeng said helplessly. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. Song Lingshan hung up the phone, set the phone on the table, and let out a long sigh of relief. For some reason, the very sound of Yufeng's voice filled Song Lingshan with a deep sense of disgust. Who's calling? Lingshan, you don't seem happy, Chen Yushan asked, giving her a strange look. Yufeng from the Yu family, I don't know what's going on, but my grandfather wants to form an alliance with the Yu family and marry me to Yufeng from the Yu family. Song Lingshan didn't hide her worries from Chen Yushan, sharing them with him. What? Yufeng? Chen Yushan was startled, looking at Song Lingshan in disbelief. You mean, your old man, Song, is planning a marriage with the Yu family? What's going on? How should I know? Song Lingshan rolled her eyes and said helplessly, didn't I always say that my future man had to be better than me? Grandpa took note, and somehow, he contacted the Yu family, saying that Yufeng was better than me. We reached a private agreement with the Yu family, but we didn't expect Yufeng to show up. But don't you like Lin Yi? You and Yufeng? Chen Yushan asked excitedly. I don't like Yufeng at all, Song Lingshan shook her head. But I told Grandpa, but he wouldn't listen. I can only deal with it for a while. I hope Yufeng will give up. Well, if that's the case, then if I see Yufeng, I'll talk to him and explain the situation to him. I hope he'll give up on his own initiative. Chen Yushan knew about the marriages between children from aristocratic families, but if both children objected, breaking off the engagement was not impossible. So Chen Yushan thought, since Yufeng and Song Lingshan hadn't really reconciled yet, if he talked to him, he might be able to let it go. Besides, they were both men, so some things were easier to talk about. If he could let it go, how much more so could Yufeng? Brother Yushan, let's not go. I don't have a good impression of Yufeng, but I don't think he's someone you want to be around. So, you better ignore him. He'll probably give up after a few setbacks. Song Lingshan knew Chen Yushan's temper and was afraid that if he and Yufeng really got into a fight, she wouldn't be Yufeng's match. Don't worry, I know my limits, Chen Yushan said. So, if he still doesn't give up after a while, you can talk to him again. Song Lingshan had no choice but to stall. Alright. If he still doesn't give up after a while, I'll talk to him, Chen Yushan nodded and said. Dr. Guan's trauma medicine, with the anticipation of the public and the support of the Liu family and Fatty Lie's trading company, began to be widely marketed without any pressure, and sales were soaring. Especially after consumers verified the efficacy, sales doubled. However, while Fatty Lie was delighted by this surge in supply, he was also forced to take out loans to invest in production lines. It seemed that the previously accumulated inventory would soon be depleted, and the market would be out of stock. While this would create a situation where supply exceeded demand, consumers would also develop some negative feelings towards Dr. Guan's trauma medicine, and stockouts were always frustrating. So, to avoid this, Fatty Lie gathered his team and began working overtime to expand production capacity. It seemed that the new product would have to make way for the existing trauma medicine before it even went into production. Even after expanding production capacity, there wouldn't be enough production lines to produce the new analgesic. Being able to meet the nationwide supply of trauma medicine was already a great achievement. This was something Fatty Lie hadn't anticipated. He hadn't anticipated that trauma medicine would become such a hit, with such a nationwide impact. He had originally planned to launch the product within his province and neighboring provinces, but he underestimated the network effect. By now, Dr. Guan's trauma medicine was a household name. What Fatty Lie can do is to expand and expand again, constantly expanding the production line to meet market demand. Chapter 1190 The Kang Family's Shock. Donghai, Kang Family Villa. Seeing the large-scale distribution of Dr. Guan's trauma medicine on the market and the continuous delivery of products to the national market, The Kang family was a little dumbfounded. Didn't I tell you to control the channels of raw materials? What's going on? Where did Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company get so many raw materials? Dr. Kang looked at the reports in newspapers and on TV, threw the teacup in his hand to the ground, and yelled at Kang Giffen, tell me, what's going on? Aren't you responsible for the raw materials? Dad, I did purchase all the raw materials. Those with poor quality were also purchased. There should be no stock on the market, Kang Giffen said with a bitter face, unless they started purchasing raw materials in large quantities a few years ago, otherwise the raw materials on the market are now monopolized by Arcane. A few years ago? How is that possible? Did they have to prepare for several years before launching the product? Do you think it's possible? Dr. Kang said angrily. I think it's impossible, but there's no other explanation, Kang Giffen said helplessly. I've checked with all the raw material suppliers, and they're all out of stock. I even offered to buy them at a high price, but they wouldn't give me any. So, everyone's out of stock. Out of stock? Is there something fishy going on? Guan Shenyi's trauma medicine is being continuously supplied to the market. More than we have. They have everything. At this price, we can't even break even, Dr. Kang snorted. They might be losing money to gain publicity, using it as a way to undermine us. Kang Giffen hesitated, then said, it's a common business tactic, used by many people. Once they've eliminated the market for our product and delisted it, they'll raise the price and recoup their losses. Oh? Are you saying they did it on purpose? They've stockpiled so much just to undermine us, Dr. Kang asked. That's a possibility. Kang Giffen had been pondering the matter for the past few days, unable to understand how Guan Shenyi Pharmaceutical Company could have fully distributed the product in just a few days. Then let's discuss how we should deal with this, Dr. Kang asked with a frown. Grandpa, I have a good idea. Kang Xiaolong had lost face before, so this time he deliberately spoke before Kang Xiaoming. Oh? What's a good idea? Tell me. Dr. Kang looked at his eldest grandson and asked with a slight smile. In fact, he still had his favorite grandson Kang Xiaolong in his heart, although Kang Xiaoming also seemed very capable. That's right. I think that since Divine Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company is losing money to gain publicity, then we should let them lose money. On the surface, we will continue to do our own thing and will not adjust the price and sales volume of our products. Instead, we will secretly purchase large quantities of Divine Dr. Guan's trauma medicine, Kang Xiaolong said. Since our costs are not enough, we will purchase a large number of their products and stockpile them. When Divine Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company can no longer hold on, we will change the packaging of the products and continue to push them to the market, or maintain the original price, and then we can make a big profit from Divine Dr. Guan. Well, that makes sense, Divine Dr. Kang nodded. He felt that what Kang Xiaolong said was still feasible. However, he turned his gaze to Kang Xiaoming. He wanted to see if his second grandson had any good insights. Kang Xiaoming had also achieved something in recent times, so Divine Dr. Kang asked, what about Xiaoming? Tell me, what should we do? Grandpa, I don't agree with Big Brother's point of view. Kang Xiaoming was originally a fool, but he had been lucky recently and had made great achievements. He felt a little proud, so he went against his big brother right away. Oh? Why? Divine Dr. Kang asked quickly. This, Kang Xiaoming frowned. He was just subconsciously opposed. Why? But since Grandpa asked this, he couldn't say he didn't know. He could only bite the bullet and start talking nonsense. Grandpa, think about it. You said before that Divine Dr. Guan Pharmaceutical Company couldn't have started planning to acquire these raw materials a few years ago. They already had this magical medicine and should have launched it to the market long ago. Why would it be delayed until now? A few years earlier, they could have been on par with our Divine Dr. Kang Jinchuan medicine. Why should we wait any longer? So this speculation is unreliable? Then why do you say that? Divine Dr. Kang nodded. He also felt that what Kang Xiaoming said made sense. I wonder if Guan Zuman used some inferior herbs to replace some of the expensive ones? You know, Guan Zuman is also an expert in the medical field, so it's not impossible, Kang Xiaoming said. If he used some inferior herbs instead, the cost would naturally be lower, and there would be no need to purchase those expensive rare materials. Aren't you talking nonsense? Didn't you get the prescription from them? Could it be that the prescription you got is inaccurate? Kang Xiaolong retorted before Dr. Kang could speak. Moreover, If the herbs in this prescription could be changed, our Kang family would have changed it long ago. Don't forget, I also studied medicine. Our Kang family's laboratory has been dedicated to researching whether other herbs can replace the rare and expensive herbs in the prescription in recent years. Can you compare yourself to Guanzuman? He's an expert, and you're just a recent graduate. It's good to be confident, brother, but excessive confidence is pride and arrogance, Kang Xiaoming said. Anyway, I still stick to my own opinion. I copied the prescription, that's true, but you can't guarantee they won't make changes when it goes into production. Alright, stop arguing. Dr. Kang watched his two grandsons bicker, and he felt a little annoyed. It was such a time, and they were still arguing over personal feelings. If they weren't united, how could they possibly handle others? Kang Xiaolong and Kang Xiaoming both shut up, but neither seemed convinced. While what Xiaoming said makes sense, it's unlikely. After all, this prescription can't be tampered with casually. It's a magical ancient recipe, how can it be changed at will? Dr. Kang said, I think we should just follow Xiaolong's advice and purchase a large quantity of Dr. Guan's trauma medicine. Thank you, Grandpa. Kang Xiaolong was overjoyed. Dr. Kang's decision was a sign of his support. This argument, Kang Xiaolong, had won. Chapter 1191, Stealing a Chicken, Losing the Rice. Don't be so complacent. If we hadn't broken off the engagement with the Xiao family, our Kang family would have been so prosperous now. It was you who opposed your brother's point of view back then. In fact, some of Xiaoming's points of view are still correct. You should learn from them. Dr. Kang looked at Kang Xiaolong's complacent look and couldn't help but scold him. Yes, Grandpa, I get it. Kang Xiaolong's expression tightened and he hurriedly said carefully. Grandpa, I still stick to my point of view. When Kang Xiaoming heard his grandfather's words, he didn't know where he got the courage from, and said stubbornly. At this moment, he knew that he couldn't back down. He had to stick to it regardless of whether it was right or wrong. However, he thought that he was still very lucky. He had been successful in everything he did recently, and he had gotten it right by chance several times. Grandpa has already made the decision. Xiaoming, don't say anything. I know what you are thinking, but right now, the interests of the family should be the most important thing. Although Kang Xiaolong's tone was very kind, the irony in his words was very strong. Anyone could hear that he was saying that Kang Xiaoming's views undermine the interests of the family. HMPH. If you don't listen, just go ahead. Only when you're hurt will you remember what I said. Kang Xiaoming felt a little embarrassed. He angrily said this and walked out the door. Dr. Kang looked at his second grandson's back, feeling a little complicated. Could this second grandson really be a promising talent? Every time he put forward an opinion, it was so shocking, but every time he said it, it was right. Was it really a coincidence, or did he see something? However, this time the stockpiling action would not have much impact on the family's interests. Even if Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company continued to sell at this price, the family would at most break even, and would not lose anything. The worst that could happen was that they would have to work harder. Thinking of this, Dr. Kang felt relieved. The lion ran away to the Chu family to become a younger brother, and Gu Huli was very unwilling to accept it. This was a tamed lion that she had bought at a high price. How could it be a bargain for the Chu family? How could Gu Huli accept it? The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. She couldn't sleep all night. The next morning, Gu Huli went to the Chu family, ready to ask the Chu family to take the lion back. But Gu Huli was still at a loss as to what to do. After all, if she went to the Chu family's house to ask for the lion, not only would they not give it to her, but they would scold her. With the viciousness of Chen Yushu, she would definitely scold her. Arriving at the door of the Chu family's villa, Gu Huli tiptoed outside to look inside, but saw the lion lying motionless in the yard. Gu Huli immediately felt that it was a godsend opportunity. Now that the mighty general was not there, and Chen Yushu was not there either, there was only the lion, which made it easier for her to take action. Lion, little lion, my darling, come back with me. Gu Huli walked over with a smile and called to the lion. The lion raised his lazy eyelids, glanced at Gu Huli, and then lowered his eyes again, as if he didn't take Gu Huli seriously at all, and didn't even call out. Gu Huli saw that the lion ignored her. So she lowered her voice and imitated the lion's roar. She thought, this lion is a male, so if she imitates a lioness, can she attract the attention of this male lion? However, the lion did not react at all. This time, it did not even look at Gu Huli. Gu Huli was suddenly very anxious, thinking that the lion did not hear her, so she increased her voice a little and roared again, "Awoo! Awoo!" But the lion still ignored her. Gu Huli was even more anxious, "Awoo! Awoo! 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 Awoo!" This time, the lion was not attracted, but Chen Yushu was lured out of the villa. Chen Yushu originally thought that the lion was just horny at the door, so she brought the mighty general to teach it a lesson. But when she went out, she saw that it was not the lion that was roaring, but Gu Huli. "Oh," Chen Yushu looked at Gu Huli with some doubts, "Old woman, your lion is gone, and you come to pretend to be a lion to make yourself feel important." Gu Huli was immediately annoyed when she heard what Chen Yushu said. Why should she pretend to be a lion? She just wanted to take the lion back, but the lion ignored her. What could she do? Why should I pretend to be a lion? I'm going to take the lion back, Gu Huli snorted and said. "Oh, then do whatever you want," Chen Yushu said indifferently, and then turned around and went back to the villa. Gu Huli was left here alone. It was not right to leave, nor was it right to stay. After waiting for a while, Gu Huli stomped her feet and left here angrily. She had no way. Although Chen Yushu said it lightly, the lion just wouldn't move. Gu Huli couldn't hug the lion, right? Gu Huli thought about it, and suddenly had an idea. This lion loves to eat meat, especially the beef just bought from the vegetable market. Thinking of this, Gu Huli quickly turned around and went home. She drove straight to the market, bought a large piece of fresh beef, and returned to Chu Mengyao's villa. "Lion, lion, I bought your favorite beef. Come home with me." Gu Huli tempted the lion with the beef. Under the temptation of the beef, the lion actually looked up at Gu Huli, and with a woof, stood up. Gu Huli was immediately overjoyed, thinking that animals are animals, and whoever gives you milk is your mother. I fed it myself, so why wouldn't it go back with me immediately? "Little lion, come back with me. From now on, you will have delicious fish and meat every day. I promise you will eat well," Gu Huli said proudly, holding up the bag of beef in her hand. The lion stood up and walked in front of Gu Huli. Suddenly, he raised his head and bit her, and directly snatched the plastic bag of beef from Gu Huli's hand. Gu Huli was afraid that the lion would bite her hand, so she subconsciously let go, and the bag of beef slipped into the lion's mouth. "Little lion, the beef is yours. Come home with me," Gu Huli took the opportunity to say. But the lion, holding the beef in its mouth, turned around and slapped Gu Huli on the butt. The lion quickly ran to the door of the villa and scratched the door with its front paws. After a while, the door of the villa opened and the person who came out was Chen Yushu. The lion held a bag of beef in its mouth to Chen Yushu. Chen Yushu took it and saw that it was a bag full of fresh beef. She was immediately overjoyed. "Little lion, where did you get the beef? I was just worried about what to eat in the evening. Now it's good, I can make curry beef and potatoes." The lion turned his head and gestured in the direction of Gu Huli, meaning to tell Chen Yushu that this piece of beef was sent by Gu Huli. Chapter 1192, I'll have diarrhea. "Thank you, old lady, for sending me to our house. You are so kind," Chen Yushu waved to Gu Huli, whose face had turned blue with anger. "I'm so angry." Gu Huli was furious, but there was nothing she could do. Chen Yushu returned to the villa with a smile, carrying the beef. "Brother Arrow, Gu Huli sent us some beef. Do you think there's anything wrong with it?" Although Lin Yi did not go out, he saw what happened in the house. He took the beef handed over by Chen Yushu, observed it carefully, smelled it, licked it with his tongue, and said, "No problem, it's very fresh. I will cook it for you tonight." "Oh, this old lady is so kind," Chen Yushu applauded. "But this piece is too big. The three of us can't finish it. Cut off most of it and give it to the lion at the door," Lin Yi said. "Okay." Chen Yushu happily carried the beef to the kitchen, cut off a large piece, and then came to the door of the villa again and threw the piece of meat to the lion. "Little lion, this meat is a reward for you. You have performed very well. Keep up the good work." The lion shook his head and bit the beef thrown by Chen Yushu, as if to thank Chen Yushu. Gu Huli, who was watching at the gate of the yard, was so angry that she almost fainted. She bought that meat. Gu Huli was so depressed that she wanted to vomit blood. This dog lion was so ungrateful. "Well, since you are so unkind, don't blame me for being unjust." In anger, Gu Huli suddenly thought of a dirty trick and drove her sports car towards the vegetable market again. This time, she bought a large piece of pork, but did not leave immediately. Instead, she found a small pharmacy and bought a bottle of laxative tablets, which is also a laxative. After leaving the pharmacy, Gu Huli found a resting place and crushed up all the laxative tablets. She mixed them into the meat until the foam had dissolved and was no longer visible. Then, with a chuckle, she drove back to the villa complex. Arriving at the Chu family villa again, Gu Huli got out of the car carrying the pork. Pretending to be just as eager and persistent as before, she called out to the lion, "Little lion, I'm here to see you again. I bought you your favorite pork. Will you come back with me?" Gu Huli waved the pork at the lion. This time, just like before, the lion came over and immediately grabbed the plastic bag in Gu Huli's hand. It then carried the bag to the villa entrance, knocking on it with its front paws. A moment later, Chen Yushu emerged again. Looking at the plastic bag in the lion's mouth, she was immediately puzzled. Was Gu Huli mentally retarded? She'd already been wronged once, and now she was wronged again? Was she addicted to being wronged, or was she just too forgetful? However, Chen Yushu didn't say anything. She took the plastic bag from the lion's mouth, glanced at Gu Huli not far away, and said, "Thank you, old lady, for bringing us food again. Wow. I'm so angry," Gu Huli screamed, pretending to be extremely angry. Chen Yushu returned to the living room with the bag and said doubtfully, "Brother Arrow, why is Gu Huli bringing us food again? Is there something wrong? Let me see." Lin Yi took the meat handed to him by Chen Yushu, looked at it, smelled it, wiped it with his hand, put it in his mouth to taste, and said, "It must have been laxative." Ah! Chen Yushu was shocked and said angrily, "I told you Gu Huli couldn't be so kind. After giving us beef once, she brought us a big piece of pork. Isn't she stupid? There really is something wrong. General Weiwu, come here." Lin Yi waved to General Weiwu. Lin Yi called out to him, and General Weiwu naturally ran over, shaking his head at Lin Yi. "Take this to the kitchen of Gu Huli's house, and be careful not to let others see it. Put it in the kitchen and come back," Lin Yi ordered General Weiwu. Woof woof, General Weiwu barked twice, picked up the bag in Lin Yi's hand and left. Watching General Weiwu leave, Chen Yushu burst into laughter. "Wow, haha. Brother Arrow, you are so bad. Xia Oshu hasn't thought of how to deal with that old woman Gu Huli yet, but you have come up with such a bad idea. Wow, haha, their family will have to fight for the toilet tonight." That's Gu Huli's own fault. Lin Yi didn't think much of it. After all, he didn't do anything, and Gu Huli took the laxative herself. What does it have to do with him, Lin Yi? Gu Huli looked at Chen Yushu after she entered the house and never came out again, and couldn't help but feel very proud. It seems that the fool Chen Yushu took the pork back. As soon as they eat it, they will have to go to the toilet. In the evening, the Xiao family had a very sumptuous dinner. Today was the first day that the Xiao family's nanny took office. After Yu's mother left, Gu Huli found a full-time nanny from a housekeeping company to be responsible for the Xiao family's daily cleaning and cooking. And on her first day, this nanny naturally cooked a few delicious dishes to show off her cooking skills, which was also to gain the recognition of the Xiao family. Looking at the various home-cooked dishes on the table, Gu Huli was very satisfied. This nanny was not bad, so she would reluctantly keep her. Gu Huli did not intend to find fault and ask her to leave. The Xiao family, young and old, plus the two masters of the Pai family, sat around the dinner table and feasted. Everyone ate very happily, especially Gu Huli, who ate even more sweetly, because Gu Huli had dealt with the Chu family today. I believe that no one in the Chu family villa will be able to sleep well tonight. There were braised pork, sweet and sour pork and various home-cooked meat dishes on the table. For the Xiao family, who had eaten so many delicacies from land and sea, this kind of home-cooked dish seemed extremely cheap. Gu Huli ate a lot of dishes and was very full. However, after the whole family had eaten and drunk their fill, problems arose. First, Xiao Wangba and Xiao Wanggao's stomachs began to growl. Both of them were young people and ate a lot, especially meat, so it was understandable that they were the first to react. So, these two people started running to the toilet. And the next one was Gu Huli. Because of her mood today, Gu Huli ate a lot, especially a lot of meat, so she also started running to the toilet non-stop. After that, it was Xiao Ji, Xiao Ben and Xiao Ben's wife, and finally the two masters of the Pai family. Although the two masters of the Pai family also ate a lot, because of their strong physical fitness, they waited until the end before reacting. Fortunately, the Xiao family lived in a villa, and there was a bathroom on each floor, and each bedroom also had a separate bathroom, so they could use it. Otherwise, these people would probably have to run out to find a bathroom. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1193, Gu Huli is stunned. Seeing that all the members of the Zhao family began to have diarrhea, the nanny Liu Ma turned pale. There was no doubt that she was the only one who did not eat dinner with the Zhao family, and she was the only one who did not have a stomachache, which proved that there was something wrong with the meal she prepared. Liu Ma, what kind of meal did you cook? Do you want to kill us? The diarrhea finally came to an end. Gu Huli leaned on the sofa with a pale face, and the other people in the Zhao family were lying on the sofa and chairs. The two masters of the Pai family were better. After all, they were martial artists and their physical fitness was better than that of ordinary people. But even so, the two of them were pale and sweaty on their foreheads. As the saying goes, a hero can't withstand 3 splashes of shit. This is the reason. Madam, I don't know either. I used all the ingredients I had on hand. The eldest and young masters bought them at the supermarket, and I was in charge of the cooking, Nanny Liu Ma replied cautiously. While she didn't know why this had happened, the Zhao family members were indeed suffering from stomach upsets, so her responsibility was undeniable. Really? Wangba, Wang Dao, did you buy anything stale? Gu Huli asked, turning her gaze to Zhao Wangba and Zhao Wangdao. No, we bought everything at the supermarket. It's very fresh. We can't buy anything that's not fresh, Zhao Wangba said somewhat aggrievedly. Our Zhao family is a different place now. With 2 great masters from the Pai family here, I can't buy processed meats and vegetables. I always buy the best. That's strange. Could it be that some things don't go together? Gu Huli frowned, clutching her stomach. That's not right, brother. Remember, when we bought a meat, we didn't buy pork belly, but only tenderloin. How did you make this braised pork? Zhao Wangdao suddenly slapped his thigh and exclaimed. That's right. We didn't buy pork belly. Zhao Wangba suddenly remembered something. Auntie Liu, where did the pork belly come from? Did you buy it yourself? No. Auntie Liu suddenly felt a little aggrieved. The pork belly was put together with those ingredients, in the kitchen. I'm still on probation and haven't received my salary yet. How could I possibly buy meat with my own money? That's right. Then where did the pork belly come from? Zhao Ben felt that Auntie Liu didn't seem to be lying, and it was impossible for his son and the eldest son to lie together, so the only possibility was that something went wrong. Zhao Ben didn't think there was anything wrong at first. Wasn't it just diarrhea? But after listening to what Auntie Liu and her son said, he suddenly felt something was wrong. Second master, I don't know either, Auntie Liu said quickly. Oh, there's a big piece of leftover pork belly in the kitchen. I haven't finished cooking it yet, and it's sitting there right now. Why don't you go take a look? Of course I have to, Zhao Ben said solemnly, standing up first. Zhaoji, Gu Huli, Zhao Ben's wife, Zhao Wangba, and Zhao Wangdao all stood up and followed him to the kitchen. Sure enough, in the kitchen freezer, Zhao Ben found a large piece of raw pork belly wrapped in a plastic bag with a price tag on it. It has today's date on the tag, so it must be fresh meat, Zhao Ben said, frowning as he picked up the pork, examined it, and said. Gu Huli, who was standing behind him, was stunned when she saw the bag in Zhao Ben's hand. She stared at the bag in amazement, as if struck by lightning, her eyes wide open. How could she not recognize this bag of pork belly? She had bought it from the market before, and she still remembered the price tag clearly. At this moment, Gu Huli finally understood why she and the entire Zhao family had diarrhea. It was because she had personally put a laxative in the pork. Thinking of this, Gu Huli's face turned pale. But what Gu Huli couldn't understand was how did this meat end up in her kitchen? Wasn't it given to Chen Yushu by the lion? Could it be that this meat can fly and run here on its own? Gu Huli was so upset, as if she had eaten a fly. This was purely her own fault. This meat wasn't bought from the supermarket, but from the market. I don't think Wang Ba and Wang Dao bought it together. Zhao Ben looked at the price tag, then compared it to the labels on other supermarket items. He said, so, this piece of meat is suspicious, but it's not the meat itself that's the problem. It looks very fresh. Someone must have tampered with it. Yes, Second brother, you're right, Xiaoji nodded and said, second brother, look at the white powder in the plastic bag. Could it be a laxative? Xiaoji pointed to the bottom of the pork bag. Sure enough, there was a fine white powder, but it was invisible without careful observation. Liu Ma was immediately frightened. Master, second master, I don't know. It wasn't me who tampered with it. I don't know. If it was you, take this piece of meat to the market tomorrow and ask the owner. You'll know. It's large and expensive. The owner will definitely remember it. Just ask who bought it. Xiao Ben had an idea. Don't ask, I bought a meat, Gu Huli said with a sad face and an extremely ugly expression. Although this matter was unlucky, Gu Huli still had to admit it. After all, this matter was very strange, and she had to let Xiao Ben analyze it for her. You bought it? Sister-in-law, you bought this meat. Xiao Ben was stunned, looking at Gu Huli strangely. He didn't believe that Gu Huli would drug the Xiao family. Besides, Gu Huli also ate it, so she was also a victim. You woman, do you want to kill the Xiao family? Xiao Ji was furious when he heard what Gu Huli said. He slapped Gu Huli in the face, and Gu Huli was dizzy and almost stumbled to the ground. Brother! What are you doing? Sister-in-law certainly didn't do it on purpose. Did she eat it herself? Xiao Ben was speechless about his brother's temper. He got angry too easily, right? As soon as Gu Huli admitted it, he slapped her. HMPH, what's going on? Xiao Ji snorted coldly, looking at Gu Huli and asking. It's true that I bought the pork belly, but I bought it for the Chu family, not for us to eat. Gu Huli didn't dare to hide it. She told how she went to the Chu family to look for the lion, how she was humiliated after failing, and how she came up with a plan to buy a piece of beef to lure the lion back home, and how she later bought pork and took laxatives. Chapter 1194, Going to ask for an explanation. After hearing Gu Huli's explanation, Xiao Ben felt a mixture of laughter and tears. There was no doubt that someone from the Chu family villa had done this. Xiao Ben was also well aware of Lin Yi's abilities. It wouldn't be difficult for him to sneak that piece of pork into the Xiao family's kitchen without anyone noticing. It seemed like Lin Yi had already seen through Gu Huli's tricks and was using her own tactics against her. Fuck. You're such a spendthrift woman. You're such a spendthrift. Xiao Ji slapped Gu Huli again after hearing what she said. Let me tell you, a line is nothing. Second brother has already found a way to help you teach the Chu family a lesson. Why did you still act on your own? Is it okay now? Something happened? Everyone will suffer with you. My stomach, brother, it's okay. This is a good thing. Fortunately, sister-in-law bought laxatives. If it was poison, our family would be dead or in the hospital. Xiao Ben smiled helplessly. Let's just forget about this matter. We are fine, but we have implicated two masters of the Pai family. I'm fine. I have magical skills to protect me. It's nothing. Among the masters of the Pai family, the oldest one didn't want to lose face because of this. He just waved his hand and said indifferently, people who practice martial arts have good physical fitness. That's good. Xiao Ben was relieved after hearing this. It's a joke for Mr. Pai and Mr. Pai, nothing. Since there's nothing wrong, I'll go back to my room and rest, Old Pai said, and then he left. He had to go to the bathroom again and needed to go immediately. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Gu Huli hadn't appeared in the hospital ward again, as if she had completely forgotten about the incident. Apart from manager Zhang from the housekeeping company who came and brought some compensation, no strangers had appeared in Yu's mother's ward. Although Ergauden said that his boss was a skilled doctor and should be able to heal his mother's leg, after all, his boss hadn't come to examine it in person or come to a conclusion in person, so Yu Yuanun was still a little uneasy. Zhou Jiaming, do you think your boss can really heal mom's injury? Of course he can. Yuanun, do you believe me? If you believe me, that's enough. I won't lie to you, Ergauden promised, patting his chest. Yes, Yu Yuanun was relieved to hear Ergauden's confidence. Yuanun, the evil owner of this lane hasn't shown up yet. I have to go find her and ask for an explanation. We can't let others bully us for no reason. Ergauden has been counting the time these days. When the 3-day deadline was up, he couldn't sit still. Why don't we just forget it? I'm afraid you're no match for them and will cause more trouble, Yu Yuanun said with some worry. A few days had passed since the incident, and Yu Yuanun's mentality had calmed down. Apart from being a little sad, she wasn't as angry as before. That won't do. My boss said that if someone bullies you, You have to bully them back, and you have to bully them back twice as much? I can't embarrass my boss. You and I are my friend. If you're bullied, it's the same as if I were bullied. I have to ask for an explanation, Ergauden said a little excitedly. Well, then you better be careful. If they are unreasonable, then forget it, Xuanyuan saw that Ergauden insisted, and there was nothing she could do. In the past 2 days, Ergauden had learned the employer's home address from his mother. Xuanyuan knew Ergauden's character and knew that she couldn't stop him even if she wanted to. I know, I'll go find them right away. If that evil woman doesn't give me an explanation, I'll beat the lion to death with one punch, Ergauden said, and then he strode out of the ward and went to Guhuli's home. Looking at Ergauden's back as he left, Xuanyuan sighed, not knowing whether to be happy or entangled. With Ergauden around, the family naturally felt safer than before, but Ergauden was so reckless and wanted to kill someone at every turn, which made Xuanyuan a little worried and troubled. Don't cause any trouble. Ergauden had learned his lesson this time. To avoid getting lost, he carried a map of Songshan city in his pocket. Following the instructions, he quickly reached the Xiao family's villa. Looking at the magnificent villa before him, Ergauden felt a little envious. It was truly magnificent. He had previously lived in Xuanyuan's apartment building, and he had always felt much more comfortable than the village bungalow. But now, looking at this villa, it felt like a palace, so imposing. No wonder the people who lived there were so arrogant. But even if you were arrogant, if your pet bit someone, you were still responsible. Ergauden didn't understand the concept of a doorbell. In the village, people usually called out to find someone, and when you went to someone's house, you just knocked on the door. There was no such thing as a doorbell. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Ergauden banged on the iron fence outside the villa. Of course, Ergauden was annoyed by the unreasonableness of the hostess, but he couldn't destroy the fence until he understood what she meant. Ergauden's voice was as deafening as a loud broadcast, and the people in the Xiao family villa naturally heard it clearly. Is there anyone? Is there anyone in this villa? Ergauden slapped the fence of the villa frantically again. The gate of the villa was finally opened, and Xiaoji walked out of the villa. Who is it? You are yelling in front of the Xiao family's gate. You don't want to live, right? It's me. Ergauden saw someone coming out, pointed at Xiaoji and said, Where is Guhuli? Tell her to come out to see me. Guhuli. Xiaoji's face suddenly sank, and he looked Ergauden up and down, not knowing where this person came from. Who are you? What do you want to see my wife for? Oh, Guhuli is your wife? That's great, you should tell her to come out. When Ergauden heard that Guhuli was Xiaoji's wife, he knew that he had found the right place. This was the right house. Who are you calling an old woman? Guhuli had come out with Xiaoji. She'd just been called an old woman by Chen Yushu, and now Ergauden was calling her an old woman again. She immediately became furious. I think you're here to cause trouble, aren't you? Guhuli didn't know that in some rural areas, older couples basically addressed each other like this. The man was called old man and the woman old woman. Ergauden, coming from the countryside, naturally followed suit. But to Guhuli, it sounded a bit like insult. A fashionable young woman like Guhuli in the city wouldn't appreciate being called an old woman. Chapter 1195, Pi Family Masters Take Action. Are you Guhuli? I'm looking for you. Ergauden pointed to the iron gate in front of him and said, Open it for me and let me in. Open it? Are you here to make trouble? Don't you see where you are? Is this the place for you to act wild? How dare you yell in front of me? I think you want to die? Guhuli naturally didn't take Ergauden seriously. You old woman are really unreasonable. No wonder you didn't admit your fault when the lion bit you. Ergauden saw Guhuli's arrogant and domineering look, and knew that she had no guilt at all about you being bitten by the lion. A lion bit someone? Are you here to cause trouble for that cleaner? Guhuli's face sank. After hearing what Ergauden said, she knew his intention. Since the lion entered the villa, it has only bitten this one person. Guhuli naturally knew who it was. I'm not looking for trouble, I'm here to ask for an explanation. Your lion bit someone, why don't you even apologize? Do you have any conscience and morality? Ergauden pointed at Guhuli and asked. Get out. You are not welcome here. Guhuli was already upset about the lion, and Ergauden came to make things worse. Thinking of the lion, she became even angrier. She waved her hand impatiently at Ergauden, wanting to kick him out. Are you still not getting out? Xiaoji didn't think it was a big deal. It was just a family of a cleaner who came to him to ask for an explanation. So Xiaoji also waved his hand and said, "Didn't I compensate you? Why, you think it's not enough? This is not a matter of money, it's a matter of attitude. I'm just here to ask for an explanation." Ergouden didn't expect that this family was so unreasonable. The women were unreasonable, the men were unreasonable, and they were all domineering guys. Don't refuse a toast and then drink a forfeit. Get out of here now. This matter is over. If you don't leave, don't blame me for being rude. Xiaoji snorted coldly. Don't you see what kind of place this is? You dare to act wild here? It seems that your family is unreasonable. Ergouden didn't bother to waste time with such a person. He said directly, since that's the case, every grievance has its perpetrator. I won't bother you. Hand over the lion and let me kill it with one punch. I'll leave. Haha, Gu Huli sneered. Don't say the lion isn't here. Even if it was here, what can you do? You want to kill it? You're bragging. You can't bite me to death. Xiao Ben also didn't believe Ergouden's words. He sneered and turned around to go back to the villa with Gu Huli, ignoring Ergouden. Okay, since you won't let me in, I'll find it myself, Ergouden said, reaching out and pulling. The iron fence seemed to be made of soft mud and was torn apart by Ergouden without any resistance. After tearing the iron fence apart, Ergouden walked in with a swagger, seemingly not taking Xiaoji and Gu Huli seriously at all. Xiaoji and Gu Huli were stunned. They had originally thought that Ergouden was just a relative of the cleaner. How could the Xiao family really take such a small-time character seriously? But Ergouden suddenly turned into a master. The thick iron railing seemed like soft mud in his hands, which scared Xiaoji and Gu Huli. Of course, the two of them were also worldly people. They knew that martial arts practitioners had great abilities. Could this person also be a practitioner? Xiaoji immediately became anxious and shouted to Gu Huli, hurry. Find the Pai family's experts. Gu Huli didn't dare to linger and followed Xiaoji upstairs in a hurry. Xiaoji ran, shouting, oh no, Master Pai, Mr. Pai, someone's coming to the Xiao family to cause trouble. Please help. Master Pai and Mr. Pai were practicing when they heard Xiaoji's call and frowned. Could it be that the Xiao family had encountered some trouble? Since Master Pai and Mr. Pai arrived at the Xiao family had treated them with the utmost respect, treating them with delicious food and drink every day. Although the Pai family had originally told them that they would only intervene when they encountered serious problems that the Xiao family couldn't solve, there had been no major problems in recent times, which made Master Pai and Mr. Pai feel a little embarrassed. Now that someone had come to cause trouble, it was Master Pai's chance to show off. But Master Pai was also a little worried. Was this person just an ordinary thug or a true expert? If it was a true master, then it would be fine for him to take action. But if it was just a small-time thug, it would be a bit of a betrayal. What's going on? Master Xiao, is there someone causing trouble? Old Pai asked, pushing the door open. Old Pai, help. This person is also a master. With just a tug, he ripped the iron fence at the gate apart, as if it were mud. Xiaoji said hurriedly. Oh? The iron fence at the gate was ripped apart. Old Pai frowned. He knew how thick the iron fence at the villa's gate was. If they could tear it apart, it would be difficult for an ordinary person to do it. This person must be a cultivator. And at least at the early stage of the yellow rank. But he didn't know if it was from the inner or outer sect. Thinking of this, Old Pai said to Mr. Pai beside him, let's go and see what's going on. Thank you, Old Pai. Xiaoji was naturally relieved to hear that Old Pai had taken action. No matter how powerful the person was, with Old Pai's help, wouldn't it be easy to capture him? Old Pai took Mr. Pai downstairs and ran into Ergouden, who was coming upstairs. Ergouden looked around as he walked, searching for the lion. Looks like you're the one causing trouble. Old Pai stood in front of Ergouden and asked calmly. He couldn't tell Ergouden's strength at the moment. Whether it was internal or external martial arts, one couldn't tell the other person's strength without practicing mental skills or making a move. Of course, this didn't apply to people like Lin Yi who had a golden finger. Who are you? Are you the helper those old man and woman hired? Ergouden looked at Old Pai in a strange way and said, why are they so immature? Why did they invite an old man? Alright, get out of the way. I still need to find the lion. How dare you disrespect Old Pai? The young man next to Old Pai was immediately furious. What kind of person was Old Pai? He held some status within the Pai family and was Mr. Pai's elder. So, Mr. Pai was immediately displeased with Ergouden's disdain and prepared to teach this fool a lesson. He slapped Ergudan in the face. In Mr. Pai's opinion, Ergudan was young and probably not a master. He was at most at the yellow rank, so teaching him a lesson was a sure thing. After all, he was an early Zhuan rank master. Wouldn't it be easy for him to deal with the yellow rank? Chapter 1196 Tragedy of Misunderstanding. Unexpectedly, Ergudan didn't seem to take Mr. Pai seriously at all. He grabbed Mr. Pai's hand and gently pulled it aside, sending Mr. Pai flying down the third-floor stairs. He fell headfirst onto the marble coffee table in the first-floor living room with a loud thud, clearly having been severely injured. He passed out instantly. Mr. Pai, a master of the early Zhuan stage, was a formidable figure. Falling directly from the third floor, even from the fifth, wouldn't have been a problem, especially for someone like him who practices external martial arts and possesses unparalleled physical prowess. But today, he'd been dealt a complete setback. Firstly, he'd underestimated his opponent and been thrown off the stairs by Ergudan without any warning. By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. Secondly, Ergudan was incredibly strong. Even if he reacted, he couldn't compare to Ergudan's immense strength. When Ergudan threw him out, he still had hidden strength. It would be unreasonable for him not to faint from the fall. Ergudan's sudden move stunned Mr. Pai. He didn't expect Ergudan to be so powerful. He threw Mr. Pai out with one move. Although Mr. Pai underestimated his opponent, it also showed that the man in front of him was no mediocre person. What's more crucial is that Ergudan attacked in an instant. Before Mr. Pai could see what level of master Ergudan was, Ergudan had already stopped. Mr. Pai felt a little regretful. He blamed himself for not paying attention. However, the more this happened, the more annoyed Mr. Pai became. He lost face in front of a junior. "Boy, which force are you from? Why are you here to cause trouble?" Mr. Pai planned to find out Ergudan's identity first. "Old man, I came here to find the lion, not to cause trouble. As for the man just now, he tried to hit me first, so I threw him out. Ergudan is a reasonable man. Give me the lion, let me kill it with one punch, and I'll leave now." "Boy, I think you don't know your place. How dare you make such a request in front of me?" When old Pai heard what Ergudan said, he became furious. "Good, very good. You have the courage. Few people dare to be so rampant in front of me. You really don't take me seriously. Boy, no matter who you are, you have to pay the price today." Old Pai became even more annoyed when he saw that Ergudan didn't give him face. This was naked contempt. He was no longer a mediocre person in the Pai family. He was also a reserve force that was about to advance to the earth level. How could he be looked down upon by a young boy here? Ergudan looked at Pai Lao in confusion. "I don't even know who you are. You keep calling me old man. Do you want to stand up for the lion, or do you have nothing better to do? If you have nothing better to do, just get out of the way. I don't want to beat you up." "Wow. I'm Pai Yangang." Pai Lao was immediately furious at Ergudan. Didn't he want to beat him up? For so many years, Pai Lao has been a well-known figure in the hidden aristocratic families. How could he have suffered such an insult? So he directly announced his name, a man that the 8 major aristocratic families had to give some face to. "Huh?" Ergudan was stunned. "Are you itching for something?" Ergudan's thoughts were a little confused. This old man really had nothing better to do, coming here to meddle in other people's business. The reason was that he was itching for something. Ergudan was a down-to-earth man, but he was also in a bit of a dilemma today. This old man tried every means to stop him from going to find the lion, just because he was itching for something. If you're itching for something, doesn't that mean you just want to be beaten? But he had no grudge against him, and Ergudan couldn't bear to beat him up. However, judging from the current situation, if he didn't get rid of this old man, he wouldn't let him find the lion. So Ergudan had no choice but to ask, "Are you itching for trouble?" "That's right. I'm Pai Yangang." Seeing Ergudan's embarrassment, old Pai thought that Ergudan had heard of his name, and he felt a little proud. It seemed that his name was still very useful. In this secular world, he was a very powerful existence, and these practitioners all knew about it. That would make it easy. Since Ergudan knew him, he would definitely tell him about his master and origins. If it was from a small sect or a small family, he would naturally blackmail them on behalf of the Pai family. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to extort money. Pai Yangyang thought that if he could extort some money from this, the head of the family would definitely be very happy. "Hey, I didn't want to hit you, but since you're itching for it, I have no choice but to beat you up first." Otherwise, you probably won't let me go find the lion." Ergudan sighed helplessly, then swung his fist and hit Pai Yangyang on the head. Pai Yangyang was a little confused after hearing what Ergudan said. He was thinking about what Ergudan meant when Ergudan's huge fist came over and beat Pai Yangyang so hard that he was dizzy and dazed. Pai Yangyang is a master at the peak of the late Zhuang level. His body's defense ability is also very strong. Ordinary attacks are ineffective against him, unless the opponent is of a higher level. But Ergudan is a special case. After a few punches, he knocked Pai Yangyang unconscious. "My name is Pai Yangyang, it's Pai Yangyang, not Yangyang." After being beaten up, Pai Yangyang finally realized what was going on. It turned out that the kid in front of him mistook his name for Pai Yangyang. After figuring it out, Pai Yangyang cried out loudly, protecting his vital parts as he cried out. "It hurts so much?" Pai Yangyang felt humiliated and indignant, but also a little horrified. He knew exactly how strong he was, and anyone who could have hit him so hard must be at least in the middle stage of the Xuanyuan. How could this kid in front of him actually have such strength? But the next moment, Pai Yangyang was even more horrified. Because there was a crisp crack sound, and his right leg was in pain. Pai Yangyang tragically discovered that his leg had been broken by Ergudan. To be able to break the leg after protecting the vital parts of a master at the peak of the late Xuanyuan, how terrifying must his strength have been? Could it be that he had already surpassed the peak of the late Xuanyuan? Thinking of this, Pai Yangyang's eyes suddenly became dejected. Why was he so unlucky? He had encountered such a monstrous master? Chapter 1197. The Xiao family's misfortune diverted to the east. "I'm sorry, I couldn't control my strength." After Ergudan broke Pai Yangyang's leg, he scratched his head in embarrassment. "I was afraid of beating you to death, so I was very careful to control my strength. But I didn't expect your legs to be so fragile and I accidentally broke them." What? Pai Yangyang couldn't believe his ears. So, the other party still held back? He was very careful to control his strength for fear of beating him to death? Doesn't that mean that the other party's true strength is even stronger than what we have seen so far? It would be easy for him to take his life? Oh my god, what kind of monster did the Xiao family provoke? It's too strong. Regardless of whether what Ergudan said is true or not, whether he was bragging or really holding back his strength, just what he has shown so far is already much stronger than Pai Yangyang. If it were Pai Yangyang himself, if he fought against a master of the same level as himself, and the other party was fully protected, Pai Yangyang would have no confidence in hurting the other party. Maybe neither of them could defeat the other, but to say that they would hurt either of them was also impossible. So Pai Yangyang was horrified. This place was truly a place of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. A random, silly-looking boy already possessed such formidable strength. It's okay. You're a master at the peak of the late Xuanyuan stage, right? My boss said that masters of this level have self-healing abilities, so recovery is relatively easy. You'll be fine after just a few days of lying down. Ergudan comforted him. Don't worry. But it's not my fault. You said I was here to find the lion, but you messed up. You got itchy and insisted I beat you up. Oh, the world is so big that there are all kinds of strange things. After hearing what Ergudan said, Pai Yangyang choked on a mouthful of blood. He rolled his eyes and fainted. He had never felt so aggrieved since he became famous. But what could he do? Pai Yangyang felt that he was no match for Ergudan. Xiaoji and Gu Huli were also stunned at this time. What kind of terrifying guy was this? Even masters at the peak of the late Xuanyuan stage were no match for him. Could he be a master of the earth rank? Thinking of this, Xiaoji's legs went weak. The Xiao family had just started to get better. How come such a terrible person suddenly came to kill them? Xiaoji was anxious and angry, and slapped Gu Huli. You bitch, look at the good things you have done. You got a broken lion, now it's okay, right? You caused trouble, didn't you? You bit someone you shouldn't bite, didn't you? Gu Huli was also very scared at the moment. She didn't dare to complain when Xiaoji hit her. She covered her face and lowered her head. Gu Huli felt helpless. You said that this cleaner knew such a powerful person. Even the masters of the Hidden Pai family were not opponents. You still come to be a cleaner? It's faster to be abandoned than this. If you are short of money, send this person in front of you to ask for money from various families. I believe that no family dares not to give money. Even the Yu family will have to be respectful when they see this person in front of them, right? Don't you think this is just idleness? Now, I am unlucky. Hero, please spare my life. Our Zhao family can give you any amount of money you want. We hope you will be so kind as to spare us. Zhao Ji is a typical person who bullies the weak and fears the strong. Now our Gudan has brought him such a great shock that even the masters of the Hidden Pie family are no match for him. What else can Zhao Ji do to be tough? Beg for mercy quickly. Yes, don't you want an explanation? I was wrong. I am an incompetent owner of the lion and I deserve to be beaten. As she spoke, Gu Huli slapped herself in the face, making a loud slapping sound. If you had said so earlier, wouldn't I not have come up? Aren't you wasting time? Gudan thought to himself. As expected, the boss was right. In the face of absolute strength, these villains are just jumping clowns. Gudan snorted, where's the lion? Call the lion out for me and let me kill it with one punch, and let's just leave it at that. This, Gu Huli had absolutely no doubt that Gudan could kill the lion with one punch. Even a master like Pai Yangyang was severely injured by Gudan, let alone a lion. But the key point was, the lion wasn't there. Gu Huli cautiously said, Sir, the lion is no longer in the villa. It's gone. Gone? Did you see it get into trouble and helped it escape? Gudan glared angrily. Huh? Gu Huli was stunned, thinking, what's wrong with me? I helped a lion escape, but she didn't dare to say that to Gudan. Who knew if this gentleman had a temper? He might punch her and kill her. So she smiled bitterly and said, Sir, the lion ran away on its own. It has nothing to do with us, sir. If you're looking for the lion, I'll tell you where it is. Just go there and find it. Xiao Ben, who had been silent, finally emerged and spoke to Gudan. He had seen Gudan's strength before, and a chill had broken his heart. The Xiao family was truly unlucky this time. Facing such a powerful enemy, what would they do? But after further observation, he found that Gudan seemed to just want to find the lion, not to embarrass the Xiao family, and the previous Pai Yangyang incident was also a misunderstanding, which only wronged the old Master Pai. So Xiao Ben was thinking, can this bad thing be turned into a good thing? Suddenly, he thought of a good idea to divert the trouble. The lion ran away, but ran to the Chu family villa. Isn't Gudan looking for the lion? Then let him go to the Chu family villa, so that a conflict with the Chu family will be inevitable. By then, he can also seriously injure Lin Yi, preferably crippled, so that the Xiao family's great revenge can be avenged. Xiao Ben felt that he was really a genius, strategizing, and the ancient's huge lion was no more than that, right? No wonder even the eldest brother, the head of the family, has to listen to him. He is really capable. Oh? Where is the lion? Gudan turned his head and looked at Xiao Ben and asked. That lion is rather arrogant. It's found a more powerful master and has ignored us. I heard that the lion has a yellow rank high dog as its boss, Xiao Ben said seriously. The news that the Chu family has a yellow rank high dog is no longer a secret. Anyone in the aristocratic families can find out about it. What? A yellow rank high dog? There are yellow rank dogs. Gudan's eyes widened, but after thinking about it, he waved his hand and said, no matter what rank it is, if it dares to protect that lion, I will kill it too. Xiao Ji and Gu Huli exchanged a glance. Xiao Ben's idea was truly brilliant. What a trick to kill with a boro knife. Not only did he get rid of this ruthless man, but he could also use him to teach the Chu family a lesson. It was really killing two birds with one stone. Chapter 1198 Gudan and Chen Yushu. Before, Gu Huli was a little annoyed that her husband, as the head of the family, always consulted Xiao Ben on everything. Who was the head of the family then? Would that be like Xiao Ben being in power? But now, Gu Huli truly admired Xiao Ben. He was so powerful, so mean. Yes, the owner of that house is very powerful and influential. Hey hero, be careful. He's very protective of his subordinates. I'm afraid you can't stand up to him, Xiao Ben said. Even if they were protective, they have to explain it to me, Gudan said angrily. If they dare to protect their subordinates, I'll beat them to death with one punch. Well, you're doing a disservice to the people, Xiao Ben smiled faintly. That family is running rampant in this villa area. They've already infuriated everyone. If you can kill them, everyone will thank you. Tell me the address, and I'll go meet them right now. While Gudan wasn't a fool, he was a bit simple-minded. He believed everything Xiao Ben said. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been swindled out of his money by Yu Xiaok. Come on, hero. I'll see you off and show you the way. Xiao Ben gestured toward Gudan with great respect. Gudan emerged from the Xiao family villa and, following Xiao Ben's instructions, trotted towards the Chu family villa. Watching Ergudan's retreating figure, the Xiao family members all laughed heartily. Second brother, you're truly impressive. Sending such a powerful individual to cause trouble for the Chu family, I'm sure Lin Yi wouldn't be a match for him. Xiao Ji gave him a thumbs up in admiration and said readily. Of course not, Xiao Ben smiled. It would be best if their conflict gets more intense and that Lin Yi is killed. Then we can take over the Chu family's company. The Xiao family had always coveted Chu Pengzhan's assets. Their previous failure had been a source of worry for them. Now with the Pai family's support, the Xiao family naturally wanted to regain their prestige, but they hadn't found the opportunity. Now, with Ergudan's disturbance, even if Lin Yi didn't die, he would surely be seriously injured. Then they could strike at the Chu family. Second brother is smart, Xiao Ji nodded. By the way, those two masters from the Pai family, brother, if you hadn't told me, I would have almost forgotten about them. Send them to the hospital quickly. Don't let anything happen to them. They are the backbone of our Xiao family. After Xiao Ben finished speaking, he turned around and ran to the villa. Although the two masters from the Pai family were no match for Ergudan, they were more than enough to deal with other families. So Xiao Ji quickly dialed the emergency number and called an ambulance. Ergudan ran all the way to the door of the Chu family villa. Sure enough, he saw a lion and a dog lying on the lawn in the villa yard. The dog seemed to be training the lion, making the lion jump up and down. This dog is indeed not simple. Ergudan took a look at the dog. Although he couldn't see the dog's strength now, it seemed that it must be very strong, otherwise a lion would not be so obedient. Ergudan was born in a mountain village and often went up the mountain to hunt. Naturally, he knew the habits of animals. This lion was afraid of dogs, so there was something wrong. Not far from the dog and the lion, stood two beautiful girls, one tall, the other slightly plump. The plump girl was gesticulating at the dog, as if telling it the training plan for the lion. Seeing the two incredibly beautiful girls, Ergudan blushed a little. How come the girls in the city are all prettier than the other? But Ergudan only took a glance and looked away. Don't look at anything inappropriate, that's what Ergudan's father told him. When Ergudan was very young, his father often told him that farmers shouldn't find wives who are too beautiful, as they won't be able to support them. Ergudan also knew his own limitations. Although he had some strength, he wasn't handsome, smart, or brave. So finding Yu in Itun was a blessing he had accumulated in 8 lifetimes. He couldn't even dream of someone too beautiful. But Ergudan was a little confused. Aren't they all said to be evil people? How could such a beautiful girl be an evil person? Guhuli looked like a mean old woman, sarcastic and harsh, but the two girls in front of him were so cute and pretty that they didn't look like bad people at all. Looking at the lock on the yard, Ergudan raised his hand and knocked on the door. He couldn't really be cruel to the two beautiful girls, although he knew that beautiful girls were not always kind-hearted. For example, Uzia Oak, whom he met at the train station, was a female liar. But Ergudan thought, it's better to use courtesy first and then force, hoping that the two girls can be reasonable. Who are you looking for? Chen Yushu was training the lions to guard the yard when he suddenly heard someone knocking on the door outside the villa. He turned around and saw a young man in plain clothes standing outside the door of the villa. He was startled and asked, I'm looking for this lion. This lion bit my friend's mother, and I'm here to seek justice. You let me deal with this lion, and this matter will be over. Ergudan didn't take action directly. After all, he knew that this matter was indeed a bit complicated. Although the lion had run here now, it bit people at the Xiao family villa and had little to do with the two girls in front of him. Therefore, Ergudan had no complaints against them. He just wanted to get the lion back and seek justice. Lion? Bit your friend's mother? That's impossible. This lion hasn't left the house since it came to our house. How could it bite your friend's mother? Are you mistaken? Chen Yushu was a little confused after hearing what Ergudan said. This lion belongs to Guhuli, right? My friend's mother worked as a cleaner at Guhuli's house, and she was bitten by this lion, so I came to seek justice, Ergudan explained. Damn it. Since you were bitten at Guhuli's house, you should go and ask Guhuli for an explanation. Why are you looking for a lion? Why are you arguing with a beast? If it weren't for that evil owner, the lion wouldn't have bitten your friend's mother. Chen Yushu saw that Ergudan was dumbfounded and didn't want to waste time talking to him. She just waved her hand and said, she has already apologized and paid compensation. Now all that's missing is the lion. Leave it to me and let me kill it with one punch. Ergaudin was a bit naive. Although he felt that what Chen Yushu said was not wrong, the lion was still the more vicious after all. This lion has turned over a new leaf. Besides, now that it's in my house, it's my lion. How should I know about what happened before? Go find that old woman Guhuli and beat her to death with one punch. Chen Yushu frowned and became a little impatient. Chapter 1199. Call him quickly. If it weren't for Ergaudin's simple nature, Chen Yushu wouldn't have spoken so much to him. So, you're going to protect this lion? Ergaudin frowned, thinking to himself, this girl is quite overbearing. It seems words won't do the trick, he'll have to resort to force. Chu Mengyao also frowned slightly. She felt this was a bit of a dilemma. Xiaoshu was right, but if Ergaudin, the simple-minded man at the door, insisted on causing trouble for the lion, it was understandable. Sir, this lion is just a beast. How could it possibly bite? It definitely wouldn't bite without its owner's permission and indulgence, Chu Mengyao explained. Look, it's in my house now, so it won't bite. This, Ergaudin was speechless. He wasn't good with words to begin with, and Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had left him speechless. But if he really just turned around and went back, Ergaudin felt a little unwilling. Even if they were right, were they just going to let the lion go? Ergaudin pondered for a moment and said, how about this? This beast bit my friend's mother's leg, so I will break its leg. No, Chen Yushu suddenly became anxious. It was so hard to get a security guard to come to the house, but if his leg was broken, what was the point of him protecting her? And seeing that she couldn't convince Ergaudin, Chen Yushu got a little angry. How could Chen Yushu be easy to get along with? Since she couldn't convince Ergaudin, she didn't plan to say anything more. If you don't leave, I will let the lion's boss teach you a lesson. The lion's boss? Ergaudin was stunned. This lion has a boss? That's fine, since he is the boss, then his subordinates made a mistake, and I will ask its boss for an explanation. This is the lion's boss, the mighty general. If you don't leave, I will open the door and let the dog out. Why are you so stubborn? Chen Yushu pointed at the mighty general and threatened Ergaudin. This dog. Ergaudin glanced at General Weiwu. It wasn't that he looked down on General Weiwu, but Ergaudin had killed countless beasts, so how could he be afraid of a dog? So he said, open the door and let it out. I can break its legs. Ergaudin is a very simple man. He didn't come here for money this time, but to ask for an explanation. Like many victims, he just wanted the criminals to pay the price and get an explanation. As for money, it is secondary. If you have the ability, come in. How could Chen Yushu take the initiative to open the door for Ergaudin? Ergaudin didn't want to use force, but since Chen Yushu was unreasonable, don't blame him for being rude. Ergaudin held the iron guardrail of the gate with both hands, and with a slight pull of his hand, the guardrail was torn apart like the guardrail at the entrance of the Zhao family villa, as if the steel was soft. Oh my god, Chen Yushu's eyes widened. You are so powerful. General Weiwu was originally very lazy, but when he saw Ergaudin suddenly display such strength, General Weiwu was suddenly shocked. He immediately stood up straight and looked at Ergaudin with vigilance. This man was very dangerous. Ergaudin looked at the torn iron fence and estimated in his heart that he might not be his opponent. Ergaudin did not dare to take the initiative to attack at this moment, but protected Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. He had to protect Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu's safety. As for the lion, he couldn't protect it. General Weiwu's actions naturally did not escape Chen Yushu's eyes. Seeing General Weiwu's look as if he was facing a great enemy, Chen Yushu guessed that General Weiwu was probably not a match for Ergaudin in front of him. Seeing Ergaudin coming to catch General Weiwu, how could Chen Yushu let him succeed? Suddenly, he shouted, wait a minute. Ergaudin was about to catch General Weiwu when he was suddenly startled by Chen Yushu's loud shout. He subconsciously stopped and looked up at Chen Yushu. What are you going to do? Do you want me to beat the dog or the lion? Ergaudin naturally thought that Chen Yushu had seen his power and didn't dare to let General Weiwu take the lead. Wait, if you want to touch this dog, you have to get the consent of its boss. Chen Yushu felt that the only way to deal with the person in front of him was to call Lin Yi. This dog's boss? Isn't this dog yours? Ergaudin was stunned and a little confused. He didn't expect that this dog had a boss. Of course this dog is mine, but it also has a boss, Chen Yushu said. The boss is very powerful. If he knows you hit the dog, he won't let you go. Even though you can tear the iron fence apart, that's just a piece of cake for Brother Arrow. Last time, My nipple was pinched by the iron fence, and it was Brother Arrow who helped me tear it open. Chen Yushu is so proud of what she said that she accidentally said too much. Xiaoshu, Chu Mengyao was immediately amused after hearing what Chen Yushu said. Why do you bring up all this? Aren't you just going to make people laugh? Sure enough, Gauden's face turned red at Chen Yushu's words. This girl is so bold, isn't she? She dares to say such things? Gauden's face flushed immediately, and he said helplessly, okay, then, quickly call the dog's boss over, and I'll go to the dog's boss to seek justice. Okay, Gauden was really overwhelmed by Chen Yushu. Before, when I went to the Xiao family members were arrogant and domineering, which was easy to deal with. Gauden could just take action and solve the problem. But now, they just talk instead of fight, and Gauden is embarrassed to hit two beautiful girls, not to mention that they have nothing to do with this matter. Gauden is also a person who can distinguish right from wrong, so he will naturally not hit people randomly. But the key problem is that it is okay to be reasonable, but the girl in front of him is unreasonable. Gauden is the dumbest and can't win the argument with her. So she made a circle around him, and he didn't bother with a lion, but found Brother Arrow. Brother Arrow is here, you have to surrender. I advise you to leave early, otherwise Brother Arrow will beat you, and I won't care. Chen Yushu threatened him, you have damaged our villa. Last time, someone damaged the gate of our villa. Do you know what happened? I don't know, Gauden shook his head. He was beaten to death by Brother Arrow, Chen Yushu said. Gauden thought, how is this similar to my style? Do you all like to kill others with one punch? But Gauden was not afraid. He said, I just want to ask for an explanation. Go and call that Arrow brother. Oh, well, since you want to be beaten so badly, I'll grant you that. After Chen Yushu finished speaking, he said to General Weiwu, General Weiwu, go and inform Arrow brother that someone wants to be beaten. Chapter 1200. Do you know him? After hearing Chen Yushu's words, Gauden was speechless. Could a dog talk? Had this girl watched too many cartoons? Lin Yi was currently cultivating, oblivious to the goings-on in the courtyard. He knew Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu were training lions in the courtyard, and there wasn't any danger. If there was any, General Weiwu would surely issue an immediate warning. Hearing General Weiwu's call, Lin Yi quickly stopped cultivating and returned to reality. Before General Weiwu could enter, he hurried out of the villa and met him. What's wrong? Lin Yi asked as he walked. It looked as if the situation in the courtyard wasn't as dangerous as he'd imagined. Neither Chu Mengyao nor Chen Yushu appeared to be harmed. Brother Arrow, there's a bumpkin here looking to cause you trouble, Chen Yushu said, pointing at Gauden. Looking for trouble with me? Lin Yi was slightly startled. He looked up in the direction Chen Yushu pointed, and was stunned. Ah! Boss! Gauden's eyes widened at this moment, looking at Lin Yi in disbelief. He never thought that he would see Lin Yi here. Gauden? You're here? Lin Yi was suddenly at a loss whether to laugh or cry. He was afraid that Gauden came to find him, but he didn't explain it clearly, so Chen Yushu thought he was someone looking for trouble. Boss, I finally found you. Gauden was so excited that he ran over and hugged Lin Yi, saying, Boss, great. I finally met you. Lin Yi naturally thought that Gauden had come here directly with the address given to him by old man Lin. How could he have thought that Gauden was actually here to find Shizi? Although Lin Yi thought so, Chen Yushu and Chu Mengyao looked at the scene in front of them in surprise, not knowing what was going on. What's going on? Chu Mengyao looked at Lin Yi and Gauden in confusion. Did these two people know each other before? Oh, I said it, this guy will definitely surrender after seeing Brother Arrow. Sister Yao, see, I was right, right? I am really a prophet, Chen Yushu thought for a while and said with some pride. Chu Mengyao was speechless, but she had to admit that Chen Yushu's sixth sense was quite accurate. By the way, why did you arrive so late? The old man said that you set off a few days ago, Lin Yi asked with some doubts. Although Lin Yi knew that Gauden was not weak and would not make any mistakes, he was so late after all, and he didn't know if he was in trouble. Boss, I was cheated by a female swindler as soon as I got off the train, Gauden said with a bitter face. Not only did I lose my money, but she also took my address. So, I didn't find you. Oh? Then how did you find me? Did you find that female swindler? Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect Gauden to have such an encounter. He was cheated as soon as he got off the train. But then again, it wasn't too strange that Gauden was cheated. After all, Gauden had never seen the world before, and it was his first time going out, so it was inevitable that he would be cheated. No, I came here to seek justice from the lion, but I didn't expect to meet the boss. Ergauden was suddenly stunned when he said this. Boss, you are not the boss of this dog. Lin Yi was stunned, and followed the direction pointed by Ergauden, saw the mighty general, and then smiled. I guess so. Oh, so that's it. Ergauden was suddenly embarrassed. If you say that this dog is protected by someone else, then Ergauden will definitely say without hesitation, if you dare to stand out, I will punch you to death. But facing Lin Yi, his boss, how could he dare to take action? Although he wanted to seek justice for Yu's mother, he couldn't ask his boss for this. By the way, what's the matter with what you said about seeking justice from the lion? Lin Yi remembered what Ergauden said before, so he asked. It's like this. Ergauden did not hide anything and told Lin Yi the whole story in detail. You mean, you injured both masters from Guhuli's family? Lin Yi was a little embarrassed after hearing what Ergauden said. Before, Lin Yi and Uncle Fu had studied the two masters from the Zhao family. Although Lin Yi was confident that he could fight the external master who was at the peak of the late Zhuan level, he was not sure if he could defeat him. However, Ergauden solved the problem in this way, which was beyond Lin Yi's expectation. Yet, I didn't want to beat him, but the old man begged me to let me beat him, saying that he was itching for trouble. I had no choice but to beat him up. But I accidentally hit him too hard and broke his leg. Ergauden scratched his scalp and said embarrassedly. He's not Pai Yangang, his real name is Pai Yangang. Lin Yi felt immense sympathy for Pai Yangang. This guy was practically caught in a trap, getting beaten for just having a name. He was so unlucky. Lin Yi had already known Pai Yanggang's name from Uncle Fu, so he figured out the key to this immediately. Ho ha! Chen Yushu burst into laughter after hearing this. Pai Yangang made me laugh to death. You actually mistook him for Pai Yangang. Chu Mengyao, who was standing by, was also left in tears and laughter. Pai Yangang, how could this guy be called such a name? His name is Pai Yangang. Ergauden only realized what had happened after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. He's not Pai Yangang, is he? I'm so sorry for what happened to him. Didn't he fight back? Lin Yi glanced at Ergauden, his expression a little strange. If Ergauden could break Pai Yanggang's leg, Lin Yi would believe it, but how could he break Pai Yanggang's leg without any resistance? How could this be so strange? Could it be that Pai Yangang didn't fight back and let Ergauden hit him? No, he was protecting his body the whole time, Ergauden said. You're really lucky. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and shook his head, but he didn't feel guilty at all about Pai Yangang being injured. So what if he was injured? It had nothing to do with him anyway. Brother Arrow, do you know him? Is he your little brother? Chen Yushu listened to the conversation between Lin Yi and Ergauden and was sure that they knew each other before, and seemed very familiar. Yes, I've known each other for a long time. We're from the same village and have been playing together since we were young, Lin Yi said. Let me introduce you formally, Zhou Jiaming, nicknamed Ergauden. Ergauden, this is Chu Mengyao, my employer, and this is her best friend Chen Yushu. Hello. Ergauden rubbed his hands a little embarrassedly. Is this the boss's employer? He had yelled at them before and even scared them. Would the boss be angry? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.